Good morning, New York City, and welcome to Behind Enemy Lines with Freddy, Daniele, and Brayden Welch. New episodes every Wednesday at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, welcome back to episode 2 of Behind Enemy Lines, the Halloween post-Halloween special. I'm going as Jalen Hurts, if you couldn't see.
Yeah, I'm going as your resident depressed Cowboys fan in the way that I'm not wearing any Cowboys stuff today. I will say, I wore my Buc-ee's hat today because today we're talking about going shopping. You know, I figured that was
That's on brand.
A little appropriate for today, considering what is going on right now, dude. This is crazy.
It's so funny. This show, so we basically started. We did not have any trade talks really planned today at all. And then I wake up this morning and I just see, like, I think it was from you, you said Sauce to the Colts. And I was like, oh my God, today's the last day of the trade deadline.
Yep.
And is that for fantasy too, or?
No, every fantasy league has their own trade deadline, right? So
yeah.
The one that I commission, I always say it's the minute before the first game of the last week of regular season, right? So it's basically you have until you're not making playoffs or whatever. But each league does its own thing. But yeah, I mean it's the official trade deadline for the NFL, and oh my gosh, I mean historically, the trade deadline has been boring. Like nothing really happens.
Yeah.
I wasn't even thinking that Jacoby Myers was going to get traded today, and he was one of the first ones.
I just feel like there's so much. All these teams who are. It's not even like bad teams are making these trades. This is like every contender is trying to do something because they could see that like the league is for the first time wide open. It feels like it's not going to be a typical like Eagles win the NFC, Chiefs win the AFC. It's like this could go to anybody who makes a trade.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later in the day. But I have a fun. I mean, honestly, we can talk about it now. It genuinely kind of feels like this year might be that year that's like. Do you remember? It was a couple of years ago. I mean, obviously, actually, of course you remember. But where the championship games, it was Brady versus Bortles, and then Foles versus Case Keenum.
Yeah.
And it feels like this is a similar type of year where it's quite literally just going to end up being like Daniel Jones versus Patrick Mahomes. Like you're gonna have
Darnold versus Hurts, and then it's like
in the NFC you have like Sam Darnold versus it's
or
not
like
gonna
Goff
be this,
or someone,
like JJ McCarthy or Jared Goff or something,
or Jared
right?
Stidham, not Jared Stidham. What the hell? Jacoby Brissett or like something.
Like Jared Stidham. But like Jacoby Brissett. Like obviously, I don't think the Cardinals are like gonna make it that far. But you see, it's like this is that kind of weird year. If the Bengals shore up and can figure out any part of their defense, maybe they go on a run, right? It's like you have these quarterbacks that it feels like it's going to be wide open, and then today's deals didn't help that. I mean, you want to talk about the Jaguars trading for Jacoby Myers? Does that like do anything for you? Does that tickle your giblets at all? Like, does that make you excited?
In all honesty, no. The Jaguars for Jacoby Myers to me isn't huge. I don't think that this trade. I feel like this one is probably the weakest out of every single one that was made. I mean, I think this one was probably the weakest one. I don't think that. Is Travis Hunter's on IR, right?
Travis Hunter's on IR,
and so is Brian Thomas, no? Or
he's not on IR, but he is nursing an injury. That's what I was gonna say. That actually kind of scares me towards how bad his injury might actually be. Now, granted, or Travis Hunter, right? I feel like if the team knows something, they go and make this deal. Jacoby Myers is not a number 3 wide receiver. It's like
no.
So unless you think Travis Hunter is going to be a number 3 wide receiver, and you're already kind of consolidating and saying like, okay, maybe he's not going to be as good as we hoped. I genuinely think, it's like now granted, it's just a rental, but with both of these injuries happening, I made the statement earlier, we were texting before, and it feels genuinely like the Jaguars are now kind of putting Trevor Lawrence on a clock, and they already were. But now it really feels like this year they have to do something. They have to win a playoff game, genuinely.
Yeah.
They don't have to win the Super Bowl. It would be great if they did, but they have to win a playoff game, because if they don't, they just paid for a rental wide receiver that's going to go on the market. They've drafted a wide receiver / cornerback, and then they drafted a wide receiver a year before that, both in the first round, right? It's like, and you drafted a running back in Bashal Tutin in the 4th round. That's like, he's pretty solid. They have ETN still. They haven't.
And ETN's like playing now. He's actually coming back as a good running back again.
Yeah, and so it's one of those things of they've invested so much in that offense. It feels like we are going to run into that. If they don't win a playoff game this year, it actually feels kind of Daniel Jones-esque, right? Where it's like the Giants kind of gave up on him. I'm not saying it's going to be immediately this offseason, but I'm saying midway through the season next year, we could see them pulling what the Giants did with Daniel Jones and just letting him loose.
Yeah. They I think what's very interesting about the Jags is like their defense is really good. And it's kind of malpractice that offense can't get going. And I guess what they're trying to do is, give Lawrence whatever they can to get him something. I do not think Jacoby Myers is the answer. I don't think this is really going to help him in any way. But, it's obvious that he didn't want to be on the Raiders. And it's obvious the Raiders didn't want to keep him. So I'm not sure what the logistics of the trade were. What did Jacksonville give up?
4th and a 6th round pick.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it wasn't really like a big one. The one that I want to move on to this one because this one is a big one. Sauce Gardner to the Colts for A.D. Mitchell and 2 firsts is the biggest one today. And I think the Jets won this trade. I think that Sauce has not had a great season since his rookie year. 2 firsts and A.D. Mitchell, they get both of those, and the Colts are taking Sauce, who hasn't been playing great. Really? Like, are they... I don't understand why they did this. I don't get why the Colts would have done this. I could understand why the Jets would have done this. I would have done this if I was the Jets GM. But that's just such a ridiculous trade. Why would you... You guys are 7-2. What are we doing? Like, you have a chance to possibly keep this ship moving if you just keep your picks. Just draft some good players in the next draft. Even if you don't win a playoff game, this season's a success. Nobody thought the Colts were going to be good. Like, if the Colts end up going 12-5, or even like the Vikings 14-3 and lose their first playoff game, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be like, that season was a failure. You had Daniel Jones, and he just took you that far. Imagine if you get like more weapons on the defense, or if you just keep drafting. Sauce is not the answer. Now I do feel like it's more of a Super Bowl or bust season for them, because it seems like they're going all in, which, I didn't expect. We had them on frauds for fighters and frauds, and it turns out they were this week. And I don't understand what they're thinking.
So, I mean, I'll throw the challenge flag a little bit on that one. What I'll say is, I genuinely believe, actually kind of going based off of what you said earlier, right? The NFL is more open now than it quite literally has been in recent history. The Chiefs, if the season ended today, the Chiefs are out of the playoff picture. Yep. That's crazy.
It's true.
And so it's more open now than it ever has been. That division is very crushable. They can. CJ Stroud's out for the indefinite future. Like, they can take that division easily by storm. I think you look at it and you say, okay, so this year most likely it's going to be a late first round pick. Next year, who knows? Now, I agree with you in the way that is a volatile pick. Yeah. Because you mentioned the Vikings. I mean, you look at this year what the Vikings are doing after what they did last year with Sam Darnold, right? Like, let's say that Daniel Jones moves on, because he hasn't signed an extension with Indianapolis. So let's say that he moves think he will. On. I mean, I think he will, especially after the move today. But I think they're kind of stuck in they better hope that Daniel Jones is a real quarterback. Because if he regresses and next year is a 4-13 year, then you're running into exactly what the Panthers did to get Bryce Young in a way, right? Where it's like, then the Panthers, well, I mean, but remember, it's like, but then the Panthers lose out that next year, get the first pick, and the Bears got that pick. And so it's one of those things of, you were seeing the Colts say, as a voice of confidence, Daniel Jones is our guy. We trust him not only to win this year, but to win next year. It's also a vote of confidence for Shane Steichen. And here's what I'll say, and we're talking trade deadline. I will put into effect, when the Texas Rangers won the World Series. I know we're jumping sports for a half second, but when the Texas Rangers won the World Series a couple years ago, they did it without. I mean, DeGrom was hurt, Scherzer was hurt. Right, we had all these guys that we traded for or signed in the offseason, traded for at the deadline, and they didn't play in that World Series. But you know what happened is that those guys being in the locker room, sure, that's fantastic. But the other thing is the team showed that it believed in itself. The front office showed that it believed in the team that it had right now and said that it could win.
Yeah.
And so I think that's kind of what the Colts are doing right now is they're saying, look, this is our chance to win a Super Bowl in this decade, right? It's like, and they haven't done that since the Peyton Manning days. So it's like, really, they're looking at it and say, I think even if Sauce Gardner comes out and is a mediocre cornerback, I think you've sent a message to your team that we are looking to win this year, and we're looking to win in the near future. And on the other side of that, I think the Jets. I mean, we'll talk about the Quinnen deal in a little bit, but the Jets are going full Oklahoma City.
Yeah, they're embracing the rebuild. They
are.
Oh
my gosh. They're and honestly, I agree with you. And they got a decent wide receiver in A.D. Mitchell.
Well, yeah.
He got lost in the wash there over in Indy. They had a lot of guys that were just like him. So it's one of those things of now, especially if Garrett Wilson gets moved in the next hour, then you're looking at a guy that could genuinely be the number one, whether or not this year or in the foreseeable future. I don't think that's going to happen, but you see a guy that could really flesh into his own because they don't really have anyone else in there.
Yeah, they are in a really tough spot. But I do like, it seems like this is the first time since I can really remember that they are really embracing this rebuild and not just going like, we suck again. It's like they are fully on board of like, we suck, but we are going to just give into that. We're not going to try to do this whole Aaron Rodgers charade. We're not going to do this Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson. Like, they are fully on this rebuild train. And I hope that they trust Aaron Glenn because I don't think he's a terrible coach. I think it's also, you can't fire a guy after one season, especially with the roster that he has and on that team. You got to give him another shot. If you get rid of him next year and because he does badly again, sure, fine. But it's like you can't get rid of him. And it's kind of how I feel about the Cowboys coach, which is what I want to move on to now. The Cowboys trading to the Jets, again, for Quinnen Williams, a first and second, and I think Mozzie Smith, right?
Yeah, and Mozzie Smith.
I want to hear your thoughts.
Look, I mean, here's the thing. The Micah trade in hindsight still hurts. Kind of what we talked about, right? Where I'm like, oh, we weren't one guy away. We still aren't one guy away. So, but I like Quinnen, and it's one of those things of you're sending a message to the team, once again, that you think that, at least with this offense, that they can do something. Do I actually think that they can? No. But, you're sending a message to the team that you think that this team is better than you expected, right? So, and I think that's the takeaway from it. I think going into the season, even Shoddy said in an interview, it's like, look, it takes a lot of pressure off the season. We weren't necessarily expecting to contend. And now, after last night, we shouldn't be, but it's like the offense shows signs of life, and the defense, if it can hunker down, this could be a football team. Now, is it going to win the Super Bowl? No. Could it win a playoff game if the defense actually becomes something? Sure. But it's one of those things of, I think when you're sending a 2026 second round, so it's not this year's first round pick, by the way. So it's not this year's first round pick. It's next year's. Yeah.
It's a 2026 one?
2027 first-round pick.
Oh, 2027. Is it Green Bay's or is it yours?
I believe it looks like it's Dallas's.
Okay.
But I mean, there's one thing of you do have some flexibility. You had 4 first-round picks in the next 2 years, and now you have 3. You know, so you have some flexibility. You also got a really a guy who can shut down that run game. They also trade for a linebacker today from the Bengals who got benched, and that we don't have to talk about that.
Yeah, I saw that one too. I was like,
but it's one of those things of like, I think you're sending a message. I don't think that we were one guy away, but if it can stop the occasional tush push, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, I think you kind of said it pretty good. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't think the Cowboys have a chance this year. I really do not think that they're, and I know that like if the offense gets, like we've seen that the offense be good. The offense for the past 2 games has not been great, and I think the best thing that Dallas could do is not necessarily, I'll never advocate for tanking, but I'll also not advocate for this false, like, trading away a first-round pick for whatever Jerry wants them to get. Like, to me, this seems like Jerry Jones is doing this literally just to be like, see, fans, I still got it. This is just this is an irresponsible trade to me. You aren't going to get much out of him this year. I mean, maybe you will, but it's not going to matter because every team is still going to beat you. Like, you got, I feel like it's going to be tough for the Cowboys to even win another game. I feel like the Giants could probably beat them. Washington probably can't, but the Giants, I think, could. And honestly, it's just, I don't see why. Maybe they're doing this just to keep him and to be like, you know, now we have you. Now we could, like, keep you on our team. And throughout the season, or like throughout the years, we'll be good, we'll pay you, all that stuff. But it seems to me like a social media GM move, you know? Like this doesn't seem like there was a good thought behind it. You make this trade if you're a contender. Like, to me, if you're the Niners and you make this trade, I'm like, oh, okay. Or like even the Packers can't because they gave up their first round picks. But like if the Packers were to make this trade, I'd be like, well, you know, they're a contender. The Cowboys making this are kind of, everybody is just kind of like, sure. I mean, he'll go on a team that could get the ball down the field, but, you know, it just, if the other team gets the ball, what do you do? Like, you can't do anything.
I mean, our corners are terrible.
Yeah, you saw Bland last night.
Yeah, he got cooked. But what I will say is, like, at the end of the day, I think it being a 2027, while 2027 looks like a stronger draft class, it being a 2027 first-round pick, I think actually helps, in my opinion, just because you have, if they decide that this year is a lost cause, sure, you lose a second-round pick, but you still get your first-round pick this year. So we talked about Dak and how he kind of, and we'll get onto that, but it's like Dak has to be the guy. You know, Dak has to be at an MVP level for them to win a game. And if he doesn't do that this year, that's fine. They can lose. They still have their pick. To me, it's more the fact of Dak is also in his 30s now. So you already have your window. Who are you going to draft in that 2027 draft class that's going to help you win while Dak Prescott is still your quarterback, like Quinnen Williams will? That's where I see it. It's like he already feels like he fits that first round mold. You are paying a second round pick premium on it. But that's just in case this year they can find a way to right the ship. I don't think they can.
Yeah.
But I see the vision. It has always been a social media GM.
No, yeah. I mean, that's his whole thing. And I'm just like, if this season is a bust, and if next season ends up being a bust, you're screwed. Like, you actually are screwed. This just seems like a high risk and high reward payment. Like, it's not low risk. Like, this is, you are fully saying to your team, I believe you are contenders this year. And they're I don't even think they believe they're contenders after last night. But we'll go on to the Cowboys. I do want to move on very soon because I want to get to our next topic. But the last one that I do want to talk about is Shaheed to the Seahawks. I don't want to talk about any of the Eagles ones yet because we'll get to them. But Shaheed to the Seahawks, I like it. Cooper Kupp is a ghost. You know, he's been injured every year, I think, since 2021, since they won the Super Bowl and he won Super Bowl MVP. He hasn't had a full season. And Shaheed could be a solid number 2. I mean, Puka is... JSN is amazing. JSN is that team. And without Shaheed, they're still great. Like, the Seahawks are not frauds. Like, they are fighters. And the way... I just think Shaheed could kind of unlock that second part. Because their offense right now is just throw to JSN, throw to JSN, throw to JSN. And it's working, but it won't the whole time. And I think they know that. That's actually kind of what we talked about last week, is like, this offense will stall. And I think Shaheed kind of gives them a chance to, like, open it up.
Yeah, I mean, he feels... I don't think, for anybody playing fantasy out there, I don't think it's going to take away from JSN. It feels similar to kind of almost what Jameson Williams is now for the Lions, right? Where he can get those big plays going at any given point. He can score a touchdown for you, but he's not going to take away from that, number one guy there. At the same time, if you want to go back a couple of years, like prime Gabe Davis kind of vibes, where it's like, he can have 3 catches for 120 yards and a touchdown. But it really feels to me like the best comparison is what the Commanders were hoping adding Deebo Smith to their offense was, right? Where it's like you're having a guy, a very traditional wide receiver at JSN, kind of matching up like Terry McLaurin, right? Where it's like, it had injury not taken Terry this year, right? You would have had kind of a similar vibe where it's like you have JSN playing that traditional wide receiver role, and then Shaheed being able to do the end arounds, do the gadget plays, do something that's kind of, make a big splash play here, or run for like 7 yards on an end around, right? It's like you're going to have a guy that's going to be a jack of all trades for them, and they got it for pretty cheap. I mean, they didn't overspend. I believe they only sent I'm actually not even seeing a price here. Fourth and fifth round pick.
Yeah, that's a good trade. I mean, that's really good for Seattle. I feel like they didn't fleece, but they did what they needed to do, and they got a player that they will get something good out of.
And in comparison, I mean, again, so I think the two teams that are very similar right now in kind of their build and their stretch this season are the Seahawks and the Colts, right? In the way that nobody really expected either team to really blow up. Mm-hmm. You have Sam Darnold there, who is playing, dare I say, almost on an MVP level.
He's top 5 in MVP right now.
Exactly. So you have Daniel Jones doing that same thing over in Indy. You have these two guys that also have opt-outs. I mean, Sam Darnold has an opt-out at the end of this year, and then you have Daniel Jones, who is a free agent at the end of this year, right? So you have these two guys that could be, a wonderful, maybe Geno Smith level, you can give like 3 or 4 years to a franchise in the later parts of their career, or even like Baker Mayfield level, right? You could give them kind of new life, or they could just turn back into pumpkins at the end of the year. You don't know that. And I think, to the Seahawks' credit, they're not giving up much to also still invest in that team. Now, granted, they didn't need to because that defense is phenomenal. But, they're buying into a quarterback that they don't necessarily have to give up a lot of capital to do so, versus the Colts, who, of course, went all in on not only this year but next year as well.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I do think the way that that is a pretty good comparison between them. I just think for some reason I have more faith in the Seahawks. I'm like, their defense is just better, and the Colts defense is not great.
They've also faced tougher competition.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, without a doubt. Like, I mean, I don't want to say the Commanders are tough, but like before we all thought that they were going to be good again. But yeah, no, the Seahawks have faced tougher competition, and they've not been they haven't collapsed in a game yet. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on to the second topic, Thursday Night Football. The Ravens against the Dolphins. We lost our parlay. It was a bad one. That was my fault.
Hey, mine hit for Thursday, man. Mine hit.
Yeah, yours did. Yours
the
did.
Ravens won.
Yeah. Lamar had 4 touchdowns, no rushing. I don't even think Derrick Henry had one. It was all passing. It was all passing.
Man.
No rushing at all. We got fooled. Lamar was 18 of 23 for 204 yards, 4 touchdowns. Brayden, I have to ask, is Lamar back?
Look, everybody looks good against the Dolphins, man. But you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna eat my words from last week. I'm gonna say not only is Lamar back, I think the Ravens are back to life, and in Edgar Allan Poe fashion, they've come back to life a little bit. I'll say right now though, well, I don't think this team is as good as the teams of old with them. You know, that defense is still kind of like in that first half they looked pretty rough until Tua turned back into Tua. They have the power of going on a run. Now, what I will say though, as I said last week, they're a momentum-based team. So I think if they have a massively easy schedule the next couple of games. Did you see that on the broadcast? Insanely easy schedule. And so I think, if they can go on a run on these games that they should be winning, then they're going to win that division. But if they trip up on one of those games, if they fall apart against a team that they're a heavy favorite against, I think that this team could start to stumble and drop another and drop another.
Yeah, one loss could do it. It feels like, because they're 3-5 now, same record as Lamar's playoff record. If they lose one more game, they could be looking at 11-6, and then even that, the margin for error is gone. Like, you can't really mess up anymore. I could see them losing to I can't even see them losing to the Packers anymore, actually. I could see them losing to the Patriots. That's the only team that I could really see them losing to. If they throw one out against the Bengals or Steelers or Browns, and honestly, the Bengals seem like the most likely team that could beat them, then we'd have to start having a little bit of a problem. It does seem like in the AFC, though, if you go 10-7, you should still make the playoffs as a wild card team. And with the way that the AFC North is moving this year, it seems like 10-7 could also possibly win that division.
I genuinely think they're going to have to win that division to make the playoffs.
You think?
I mean, I think about this, right? You have the AFC West as Denver, Chargers, Kansas City.
Yeah, that one's tough.
You have the East that has New England and Buffalo, right? So, I mean, there's your 3 wildcard teams, in my opinion, right there. So you have to win that division unless you're knocking out the Chargers, the Broncos, Chiefs, or the Bills, or the Patriots.
Yeah.
I think you have to win that division, and I think now a big key thing there, I talked about this last week and we'll talk about it again, man. You basically have to say that you're going to go 500 in that division. The AFC North is terribly tough. Mm-hmm. They've only played one division game.
And it wasn't even a good win. Like, they barely won.
And so I'm saying, you might have to chalk, if they say, like, let's say they do go 500 in that division, that's an additional 3 losses. You're looking at 9-8.
Yeah.
And that's if they win out against the Patriots and the Packers as well.
But if they go 9-8, they could still win that division. Like, the Steelers, we know the Steelers ceiling, it's 9-8. So, if they go 9-8 and they win that division, I mean, I don't know about winning a playoff game, but at this point, I mean, Ravens are always Super Bowl or bust. Like, if they don't do that, it seems like this year it's a little different, to where they're no longer Super Bowl or bust. They're just kind of like, show us that you're good and show us that window is still open. And I feel like, of course, with Lamar as the quarterback, that window will not close because he's generational. But yeah, no, I think they're back too. I said this last week. I thought that that win that they had with Huntley starting turned everything around. And I think we're going to see it turn everything around. The defense, albeit not great, looked pretty good. Lamar in the second half specifically looked amazing. We just got to see if they could keep it up, because that defense you can't really trust with anything.
I mean, I will say we are looking at a peak Week 18 matchup. Ravens-Steelers, man.
Oh, that's going to be the Sunday night finale.
That's got to be Sunday night. I mean, unless the Steelers have a generational, blow-up. It's going to be, the 8-8 versus 8-8 game to see who goes 8-9.
Tomlin's first losing season, maybe.
Oh, man. Like,
That would be
yeah,
great.
I mean, that's genuinely gonna be insane. I was looking at their schedule here, but like, they should. Vikings feel like a trap game to me, right? Especially
Yeah,
after the
that could be a
Vikings were
trap
able
game.
to trounce the Lions, and we can talk about that soon.
The Jets
But-
too. The Jets could be a trap game. Like, wildly enough, I feel like it could just be like a Jets win 6-3 game, and it's just over.
Oh yeah, no, and it could be one of those. Now, granted, I mean, we'll see who they keep trading. By the end of our podcast today, we could have Garrett Wilson getting
5 more
traded,
trades.
Breece Hall getting traded, everybody. So I'm trying to keep like also that open so I can just see if that happens. So what about? So we talked about the Ravens. What are your thoughts on Tua, man? Like, what are your thoughts on Tua, Mike McDaniel, that Dolphins team? What are you thinking?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts about them. Tua's done, man. As a starter in this league, I just don't think he's the guy. He was 25 of 40, 261 yards, an interception. Their window is over. The Dolphins Super Bowl window has officially shut. And they had one. It was open with Tyreek. I mean, they scored 70 points against the Broncos back in 2023, and it seems like those franchises have completely flipped. Like, these guys are done. And McDaniel, I think, does deserve a bit of blame as well. I don't think he's a good coach. I think he's a great offensive mind. Absolutely outstanding offensive mind. But he is not a good coach. He lets Tyreek walk all over him. Did you see how Tyreek was talking in the offseason and he faced no penalties? The one time I saw McDaniel kind of be a coach is when Tua threw the third pick in the Browns game and he was going, get off the field, get off the field. And then he publicly said, when your quarterback does that, you can't win. It's like, and then like Tua, remember he like called out his entire offensive line for being late to player meetings and stuff like that. He's lost the locker room. He's lost his ability to play good football. He's been saying that he can't even see over the O-line. We can't see over the O-line. That's something that we'd struggle with, not a pro NFL quarterback. It's just he's done. He's done. That team needs to go full rebuild. The GM was fired, which is a huge plus.
Terrible timing, though.
Not
Terrible
good timing. 100% not good timing.
You fired your GM right before the trade deadline, which, granted, I guess it's better than firing him right after.
Yeah, no, 100%. But I mean,
there's no leeway for him to do the job now, right? It's like you're not going to go in and assess a team in less than a week and say, oh, I'm going to now trade these guys for first-round picks.
No, yeah, and I just think, like, the Dolphins don't know what they're doing. And I think that that's just been the theme of them since this window opened. And I say window with quotations because they didn't win a single playoff game during this time. They still have the longest playoff win drought out of any team right now. More than, like, people like to give the Cowboys a lot of BS for not winning playoff games. The Cowboys last won one in 2022. The Dolphins haven't won one, and the Dolphins were supposed to have a window open since then, since they got Tyreek Hill. And since they got Tyreek Hill, the Chiefs have won 2 more Super Bowls. The Dolphins have done nothing. They've done nothing. And it's just, it makes me mad. It actually makes me mad. Like, I don't like this team. I never liked this team. Ever since Vic Fangio was like, the culture is bad there, everybody was like crapping on Vic Fangio for being like, no, you're just a bad defensive coordinator. He was right. He was fully right. And we see that from Jalen Phillips going to the Birds. He's like, no, I'm really excited to work with Vic again. Like, their culture was good when he was there. And I mean, like, Brian Flores, I'm never an advocate for bullying a player. And he never should have done that. But, like, a lot of people were saying, oh, Tua's proving him wrong. And unfortunately, it seems like he never did.
Yeah, I mean, here's what I'll say. Like, I'm surprised that we're here on November 4th and that Mike McDaniel still has a job. Genuinely, like, that team is cooked more, man, than like a McDonald's patty. Like, it is just, it is done. It's that team is done. And, like, I don't know, they should blow it all up. They're not going to get rid of Waddle. They won't get rid of Achane, obviously. But they, like, Waddle's going to go full Olave, and we'll have Achane going full Alvin Kamara from last year type of thing, where it's like they're going to be the only guys on that team. And I guess, once again, if you're playing fantasy, good for you, man. You get those guys. You got guys that are going to get 100% of the target share. But, Tua really, what he should do is go and pull. We keep talking about Daniel Jones and talking about, Baker Mayfield. Tua should do that because I'm not saying that he's going to be as good as those guys, but he's got to get off this team because you listen to his interviews, man. Like, he has given up. Yeah,
he hates this team.
Exactly what you said. And as a Longhorn fan, I'll tell you right now, Quinn Ewers is not the answer. But you should at least see what you have in him, right?
Yeah, give him a shot. And Tua also, McDaniel saved this guy's career. And the fact that he's thrown McDaniel under the bus is what really makes me mad. He was like, I have to be on the field, thinking of all the... he's basically saying, I have to be the coach. I get it, McDaniel, we could talk about him as a coach. That dude literally saved Tua's career. If it weren't for him, Tua would not be the starter. He probably wouldn't have even been paid.
I will say, McDaniel gives me very much, actually, funnily enough, kind of gives me, Josh McDaniels vibes. Yeah. Where I'm like, great coordinator, dude. You can go and you don't have to have full control. You can go and be an offensive coordinator somewhere and thrive. I mean, if he gets fired, I would love for him to run over to the Dallas Cowboys, man, and add some magic over there. That'd be crazy. Realistically, he'd go to, Washington or something. But,
I don't see him going to Philly either because I feel like we're going to keep Patullo because he's kind of being good now.
Yeah, I was just going to say, for him to do that, I just don't. I mean, we talked about that GM, dude. It's they need to blow this thing up, but I don't think you fire your GM in the middle of the season. That nothing's going to happen. I mean, nothing's going to happen today, and nothing's going to happen until I wouldn't say that's going to happen this offseason, unfortunately. They might fire McDaniel this offseason, but they're not going to blow the team up because, and the whole excuse can be, we need the GM to build his team his way. Give an offseason for him.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. Mm-mm. I think they need to go. I mean, I never thought I'd say this. They need to go full Jets, man. They need to embrace it.
Yeah. Blow it up. Try to build around Achane. Keep him. Get rid of everybody else and Waddle. I would say keep Waddle and Achane and see what you could do with that team because Tyreek's career is probably done. He's probably going to retire. Tua is not your quarterback. I don't even think he's going to be a starter after this year. I think that's done. Build around Achane. Build around Waddle. Waddle, I know, has his injury issues and all that, but, maybe with a quarterback who doesn't hospital ball him, he'll be good.
I mean, so does Achane. That's what I was going to ask.
Achane does too, yeah.
What do you think obviously we know that what Saquon cost for the Eagles to sign him, right?
Yeah.
What do you think the running price, if you're the Dolphins, what are you asking for Achane? Because my thought process is he's a fantastic running back, but he's so small.
Yeah.
He's so he's faced injuries already, and his timeline doesn't really work with ours if I'm the Dolphins, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, if they shopped him, they won't because they're the Dolphins, but if they shopped him, what do you think that asking price even is?
I mean, I feel like you try to get a first round at least out of him.
And nobody's going
to pay it. I can't think of a single team that would do it. Not even Jerry would do that.
No.
But it's you got to keep him. Nobody's going to want him. You could release him, but that would be the worst thing that franchise could do now.
Definitely not. I mean, the only team I can think of that would pay a first-round pick for Achane would be the Chiefs.
Yeah. Well, yeah, honestly.
Only because you know that you're going to compete. And with the way that the Dolphins and the Chiefs kind of chirp back and forth to each other, I can't see that happening.
No, that's not happening. And I think what could be really cool is we'll get to the Chiefs later, but I think they just got to keep him because nobody's going to trade for him. You can't release him because then you're giving up a really good player for something and for nothing. And I just think you gotta bite the bullet. Just keep him on the team. Build around him. I mean, we see how a good run game could affect any team. See the Panthers, You see the how it's poorly affecting the Chiefs. You gotta just keep the running back. You know. I want to move on to our next topic. The Philadelphia Eagles. We were taking a nap this week. We were on a nice little bye. I think that the Eagles are the first team to ever win a bye week. You know, I feel like it's the first time that I've been a fan that the bye week was this good.
I don't know, man. If I feel like the Browns might have won a bye week this week just because they didn't lose.
They didn't play.
Yeah. So maybe that too. Yeah. Okay. Look, I want to hear your thoughts on your Eagles, man. I got a lot. So Michael Carter II. We traded for Michael Carter II, Jair Alexander, Jalen Phillips, and I talked about this a bit on the Bird Corner recently, but I'm not as excited about these. I feel like nobody is super excited about these. I think everybody's like, we're getting some rentals for the season because we know that defense, albeit good, could be great with the right personnel. Brandon Graham's out of retirement. I mean, Nolan Smith is coming back. We have a good defense. These trades just kind of seem like we're getting guys because, I understand Michael Carter because that cornerback 2 is such a gaping hole on our team. Adoree Jackson is bad. He's just straight up bad. And Kelee Ringo had a good game against the Giants, but that's his one good game that he had all season. He was actually our highest rated defender on that team, which was surprising. But also, I don't know if that's because he just didn't get targeted. So, I understand why we went for Michael Carter, and I like that one a lot more than I like the Jair Alexander one, just because ever since his injuries, Jair has not been good. He's just straight up been bad. And I think what he does bring is like a good culture to the locker room. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, I think that because we had CJ Gardner-Johnson. I said this like word for word on my podcast, but CJ was our dog. He brought that mentality. And now we're kind of seeing that his mentality isn't great because he got released by 4 teams. But Jair's is much more positive. Like, his mentality isn't like angry and stuff. His is like happy and positive and excited. Like, when he was on that Packers team, that dude was always smiling. He was excited. And we need that for our team. That's what I feel like our locker room, we were having reports of people thinking that our locker room was all disheveled. And then, after the Giants game, it doesn't look that bad. And I think with Jair in there to just keep the vibes high, that could be great. I just think having him in the locker room is going to be good enough.
Well, and he also has power against wide receivers of, like, getting in their head. I mean, him and Justin Jefferson go way back, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, if you have to face them, let's say that the Vikings go on a run here, you face them in the playoffs. I mean, that chirping is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
I also think, like, he feels very similar, almost like a mix of Jameis Winston, where you're happy to have him on the team, but also kind of I don't know if you ever in basketball, if you know who Joe Johnson is back.
Yeah,
or like the old MMA fighter guy who would like really just go. Joe or James Johnson. That's the guy I'm thinking of. Am I messing up? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Is it?
I think it's James Johnson.
Is it James Johnson?
James
Johnson.
James Johnson. Yeah, the old MMA fighter that literally people would have him on the team as the enforcer, right?
Yeah.
He couldn't really. I mean, he's fine at basketball. Maybe you play him on defense ever so often, but really what he is there to do is if your guy gets roughed up, he's going to run over, and he's not going to spit on them, but he is going to, he's going to run over and defend his boys, and I think that's what Jair is, right?
Yeah.
He's a dog.
Yeah.
He can get that locker room going. I think it's a vibe. It's more of a vibe trade than it is anything else, weirdly enough.
Yeah, and he, and I think, like, he was bad on the Ravens, but I think that's also a product of just the Ravens being bad. If he's opposite a lockdown corner like Q or, like, even Cooper DeJean, he'll be fine. I think that he's going to be better than Adoree Jackson. He has to be. And Kelee, I'm not ready to quite say that Kelee Ringo's bad because he's been here for, I think, 3 seasons now. And I really like that Georgia Bulldogs, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Kelee Ringo, Nakobe Dean. Like, I really like the 5 of them. And the thought to me, this is completely biased, but the thought to me that one of them could be bad just makes me kind of sad. So, I mean, I think that he'll be great. I think the biggest one that we got was Jalen Phillips. He was great his rookie year, and he's been great this year. Like, he's just had a good season so far. And our biggest... We do struggle with the run game quite a bit, and I think that he could really help, and he could help us get to the quarterback because that D-line makes me mad every game. And, you know, you get Jalen... Our entire D-line, our entire defense, I would say, benefits from Jalen Carter just being a dog. Like, you could have anybody back there, and as long as Jalen Carter is on that front line rushing people, they'll be rattled and you'll be good. It's what happened in the Super Bowl. It's what happened for most of the season last year. And I just think that along with Jalen Phillips, and now we have Brandon Graham and Nolan Smith, that front line is going to be great. And I think it'll allow the back end to not be as... They don't need to be as locked down as they were last year. Like, we don't have a Slay. We don't have a CJ. But now we have Jair and a Michael Carter. So they're not amazing, but I think if the D-line could be so good to the point that it won't matter, that could be good. Again, this brings me back to 2022 when everyone was like, the Eagles' defense this year is great. And then you look back on the season and you're like, well, they led the team in sacks. They led the league in sacks, but that defense was not great. You play a quarterback like Rodgers, Dak, Mahomes, that defense is getting lit up, and it's because we had so many holes in our secondary that were masked by the D-line. And I'm hoping that's not what happens this time. I think that Fangio is a better coordinator than Gannon, and I feel like with Fangio, that won't happen. Fangio made Zach Bond a good player, so, you know...
He's such a good coordinator, man. Like,
He's
I
great.
Genuinely,
Outstanding.
I hate the Eagles, man, but like, he is I give credit where credit's due. He's a great coordinator, and he's another one that's like great coordinator. I don't know if he was an okay head coach. He wasn't like bad.
Yeah.
He wasn't the worst head coach of all time.
He wasn't terrible.
He's such a better coordinator than he was a head coach.
And he wants to stay with us for the rest of his career. So that'll be nice to have our own like Spags guy to...
Were you watching football back when Wade Phillips was like huge? Way back. So he was the Cowboys head coach for a while there, and then he went on to be a defensive coordinator for a lot of really, really solid teams. Defensive coordinator for the Broncos back in their really like elite days. I mean, and that's one of those things. It's like he was so good with his defenses, and he just got bogged down when it came over to being head coach.
Being the coach. Yeah, 2007,
that's
2009.
how he kind of feels to me. Like, he's the current day Wade Phillips, and
in
the best way possible.
He's great. He's just like, I don't know, his defense, he knows his schemes. The another thing that that does worry me a bit, actually not with Jalen Phillips, because he and Fangio do have that relationship already, but you know when we got Bryce Huff, he just didn't fit the system, and now Bryce Huff is playing really well, and that's not even a slight at Huff. Like, Huff is a good player. He just didn't fit whatever Fangio wanted him to do. And I think that is something that... Yeah, that's kind of something that I think could be Fangio's big weakness, is that some players just don't fit his system in a way. But again, like, he just won a Super Bowl, so I'm never gonna rag on Fangio. I don't care. That defense could be bad for the rest of, like, for 2 more years, and I'll be fine. Like,
so here's what I'll pose to you, because you've hit everything that I kind of was thinking about the Eagles. The only thing that I run into is that division is so bad. It is. I mean, like, the Giants, and we'll talk about this. Like, the Giants are promising for the future.
Yeah.
And the Commanders might be promising for the future. I don't know. We'll talk about Jaden Daniels coming up and all that. And the Cowboys are broken. And so it's one of those things of that division being so weak, where I come into a question for you is that I almost feel like, now granted, the Eagles have not had a lack of competition so far. They played some really tough teams, and they've won some really tough games.
Yeah.
I think this week's game especially is going to tee off a kind of, it almost feels like a must, not even a must win for you guys. It feels like you must stamp down the Packers and like solidify.
dominate,
I mean,
like
solidly
almost
beat them by
dominate.
10+. Like that's
Oh
what
no,
it
I
feels like.
have them winning 34-24.
Yeah, something like that. The reason
yeah.
why I say that though is because I am worried that as the season goes along, that the lack of competition within the division will actually, they've always been a team that kind of plays to their competition, will actually kind of bring them down as they ramp up for the playoffs, and then all of a sudden it's like they're playing real teams again. And, you know, I mean, you know how, like, they can pick it up real fast, but if they can't, if they have one quarter where they're a little bit sluggish because they've been playing against the Dallas Cowboys sieve of a defense for the last, like, you know, if they've been doing that, then you run into an issue that all of a sudden they haven't played a real team in 4 weeks, and then they play an actual tough team like the Buccaneers, right? Or like the Lions, or whatever team is not going to win that division. That's why I think playing the Packers this week is going to be huge for you guys, because I do think you need to have that competition.
No, I fully agree.
Keep you guys active.
And I think that what is a good thing about our schedule is that our second to last game is Buffalo. So we're going to be like well trained, I feel. The rest of our schedule is really easy. Like we were front loaded. We went from, I mean, the Cowboys game, week 1 games are always weird, and then we immediately went to Arrowhead, then the Rams, and then the Buccaneers. And then, you know, we dropped, I feel like the loss to the Broncos and the Giants were just a result of such a front-loaded schedule. And then we go to the Vikings, and then the Giants again. And now, you know, we got the Packers and Lions coming up, both of whom we don't really know who they are.
Yeah. But tough teams regardless. I mean, should be interesting games.
Yeah, they're both going to be good. And like, the Packers one is going to be at Lambeau. Again, I don't think that matters. Like, I think that we're going to beat them by 10. And I've been such a jerk to our Packers friend in our fantasy group chat about it that I'm just like, I have so much confidence in this win to the point that I just do not see how this team could lose. I don't think that it's possible. I think that we're going to, again, make Jordan Love look bad, as we have done.
You don't have to make him look bad, man.
He just will.
That last that play where he
The
threw a
dropped
wide
pick.
open. It was a wide open pass to the wrong player, man. To the Panthers. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, all you have to do is make him rattled. If he's behind, he can't play well. And I mean, you know, it's not Toyotathon yet, or maybe is it when November 10 hits? I don't know. As long as it's not Toyotathon, we're chilling. Even in Toyotathon, we beat them in the playoffs 22-10. Like, I'm genuinely not scared. And they did have a devastating loss with Tucker Kraft, and Van Ness will be out, and I think Reed will probably be out, as well as Matthew Golden. They're going to be missing a lot of weapons. And I feel like it's kind of, I don't know how the Eagles are even underdogs in this game. Sure, you could say that defense is great. It's whatever. You know what? Actually, let's just move on to the Packers. I'm going to skip the Halloween segment because I feel like I don't have a lot of the photos. But yeah, I want to move on to the Panthers at the Packers game, since we're kind of just going on to them. Let's start with the Packers, because I want to get to the Panthers after. But starting with the Packers, like we said, they don't have an identity. Love was 26 of 37, 273 yards and 1 interception. He is so confusing, and I've been a Love fan. I've liked Jordan Love. But this guy has one game where he plays so well, and then the next game it plays like the worst quarterback in the league. Like, that's not even an exaggeration. He made the worst throw that I've ever seen. That was terrible in a must-win situation on 4th and 8. And I mean, granted, a lot could be said about Matt LaFleur this game. I think he coached a terrible game. Going for it like that was so stupid. But the loss is 100% on him in the offense. That defense held the Panthers down, and you could criticize them as much as you want for giving up 130 yards to Rico Dowdle, but your defense feeds off of your offense. And if your offense can't get anything going, it's inevitable that your defense is going to crash and burn. And that's exactly what happened with them. The Browns beat them, and everyone was like, okay, you know, it's a fluke. They tied with the Cowboys, and everyone was like, that shouldn't have happened, but the Cowboys' offense is good. Now we're seeing the Cowboys lose in blowouts recently, and everyone's like, And then they lose to the Panthers. And at this point, I'm just thinking, like, The Cowboys beat the Panthers. No, the Cowboys lost to the Panthers.
No, we lost to the Panthers.
By
Rico Dowdle went crazy. But yeah, by 3 as well.
By 3, and Dak played well that game. Like, the offense wasn't the issue that game. And
we scored almost every drive.
Yeah, that wasn't an offensive issue. This one, at some point, you got to stop being like, and this is maybe a message to our Packers friend, at some point you have to just accept that this team might have some issues. And that, we might not be as good as we think. We've lost to 3, I'm not going to count the tie because it's as a loss because it's not, but we've lost to 2 bad teams and we've tied with 1 bad team. At some point, this is looking bad. And we beat the Lions week 1. That was week 1. And I mean, you beat the Commanders. The Commanders aren't a good team. Who else have they beaten? They barely beat Jacoby Brissett and the Arizona Cardinals. Yep. They barely beat Joe Flacco again. And then who else did they play? There's one more team I'm missing.
I don't have it up right now.
Who was it? I'm looking right now. The Steelers. And then you beat the Steelers. And I would say that's their one win that's really, like, that was a great one. That was a great win. Everything was firing on all cylinders. But the Packers make me so mad, man. Like, because they should be so good. They are Super Bowl or bust. They traded 2 firsts for Micah Parsons. If they don't get it done in the next 2 years, what have they been doing this whole time?
So, if the Packers have no haters, man, then I'm dead. I'm telling you right now. I'll temper my excitement, but I would like to take a little victory lap and just say, I was right after last week. I was right. I mean, but what I'll say though, Jordan Love is, again, I keep kind of, weirdly enough, I keep kind of bringing up like older kind of comparisons. He feels very like he has a great. I know LaFleur made some mistakes. I think LaFleur is a fantastic head coach. Yeah. I also think like he has a lot of weapons to use. Josh Jacobs, those slew of wide receivers. Yes, they're going down with injuries, but he still has some guys, and it's one of those things. And that defense is phenomenal. He reminds me, the way that he plays, of kind of a mixture of Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Josh Freeman / Jameis Winston. Like, both very erratic. Freeman had that glorious, wonderful arm, and then Jameis Winston could just like win a game at a moment's notice. But also, both of them could lose games at a moment's notice, right? And it's one of those things of, I'll temper my excitement just because the Packers, weirdly enough, I actually think you and I have now flipped the coin a little bit, because you're sounding the alarms and I'm going, it was one bad game. Now I'm saying, like, it feels like they were playing with their food and they got caught. They have a tendency to play with their food. And I would say, I think, as much as I would say that I wish that this exposed the Packers, I think this is a blip on a playoff-bound season. But, what I will say is that once again, much like the Panthers, and we'll talk about this coming up, don't look for them to win the Super Bowl or even make the Super Bowl this year. Because at the end of the day, Jordan Love is Jordan Love. Yeah. I think that's what's holding this team back, is also what's propelling it forward. I think, I'm not sure that if you throw current day Jameis Winston behind this roster that granted, it would be a high scoring game, but he'd also throw 3 picks, right? So you're not necessarily getting this team that's going to win a Super Bowl with Jordan Love, but I don't think they're ever going to miss the playoffs because of him either. Yeah. They're kind of in purgatory now.
Well, yeah, I guess I see what you're saying about playing with their food. If you play with your food 3 times, does it start to become an issue?
I mean, yeah. Yeah, like
3 times now they've had games where these are all games. Do you see their schedule is hard? Their front part of the schedule was easy. These games they should have gone undefeated. And now they're facing a really tough back end of the schedule that I think actually could cost them a playoff spot. I think losing 2 games, and I don't think they're going to beat Philly. Here's the thing. This game for the Packers against the Eagles is more of a must-win for them than it is for us. Because I feel like the rest of our season is very smooth. We get the Commanders twice, we get the Cowboys again, and, I mean, the Chargers are very hot and cold. We just have such an easy back end of schedule, whereas the Packers, they need to beat the Eagles now, or else they're looking at a possible serious decline in the season. They could end 9-7-1, frankly. I could see them, they will lose again to the Lions. I could see the Vikings beating them. I think we seem to forget last season, they got swept by everyone in the division except the Bears, who they split with. They went 1-5 in their own division, and they went 11-6, I believe, because their other loss was to Philly, who started and ended their season. Like, there's just so much. I don't understand what. I think that the Packers are in, like you said, they're in purgatory. Both of their playoff losses have been because of Love. The one against the Niners, he threw 2 really bad interceptions that cost the game. The one against the Eagles, he threw 3 really bad interceptions that lost him the game. At some point, and you guys made him a really high-paid quarterback after one season where he beat a Cowboys team who was,
should have won.
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys.
That Cowboys team choked.
That Cowboys team was amazing, granted.
Yeah.
But I mean,
That's Mike McCarthy there for you.
That loss. I mean, that loss, from what I have read on the subreddit, it killed a lot of Cowboys fans' love for. That was the Super Bowl season, and it's just like at some point, Love, I don't think is going to be an issue for them, but you guys are in a Super Bowl now team, and I guess some of it could be with the personnel. I can't name a wide receiver one on that team. They have 3 guys who just seem to get the ball spread around. And news flash, that doesn't work. It doesn't work. I don't know why teams are so hesitant to build a good roster around their quarterback. Why do they not do it? Everyone is like, oh, really good quarterbacks don't need that. No, one really good quarterback doesn't need that. Matt Stafford needed that. Frigging Mahomes doesn't, sure, because he's generational. Burrow had that, and he couldn't do it because his O-line was terrible. Like, do it. Jalen got the best offense built around him ever, and he did it.
I mean,
do that with Love.
Patriots traded for Randy Moss back in the
Yeah,
day, right?
Patriots. Granted, they didn't win a Super Bowl with Randy Moss, but the Patriots did have really good teams around Brady when he won those Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Like, do that. Just bite the bullet. I don't know if it's an ego thing. I don't know if it's a GM's like believing too much in this whole quarterbacks are the team mentality, but it has worked for nobody except Mahomes. For Lamar, this doesn't work. For Josh, this doesn't work. For nobody, this works. Like, they just need to get Love weapons, man. Get him some actual weapons.
I'll give him credit, though. It's not like they haven't tried. They signed Josh Jacobs. They drafted Golden in the first round.
Golden
they made sure
sucks.
That well, but it's more of an execution thing rather than an effort, right? It's like they've made sure they've spent a lot of draft picks on tight ends, right? They put in both Musgrave and Kraft on the same year. They keep going,
And Kraft is great. Kraft was on an all-pro season, and I think that's devastating.
Oh, yeah. But it's like they haven't... It's not for lack of trying. Now, granted, they've also now invested their future into the defense, right? You trade 2 first-round picks for Micah Parsons. Again, it's that thing. I'll go way back to that Cowboys trade. If you don't win a Super Bowl when you trade for Micah Parsons and you give up 2 first-round picks, is that trade a loss for the Packers? Yeah, I mean, that's just
I already think it's... I honestly, I don't know. I never said it was a loss for the Packers, but I thought that trade was a lot more even than everybody thought it was.
I think you need to make the Super Bowl at least for that trade to actually come to fruition. But once again, if we turn around and let's say that you're right, and let's say that they miss the playoffs, oh my gosh. Then all of a sudden, right, you're looking at the Cowboys, who probably will miss the playoffs, probably will be a bottom 10 team, will have a top 10 pick, and then another mid first-round pick. It genuinely becomes one of those moments where, as a Packers fan, you don't know what to do because you also don't have next year's first-round pick.
And you can't get rid of Love because you'll eat so much cap it. That's why I think that they just need to get him some offensive weapons. I don't know how they will. No picks, nothing. I really don't know how they will. I think I have a prediction in the future. This could be like 5 years from now. I have a prediction, or maybe even less. Maybe it could be 3. So hear me out. The Packers trade with the Bengals. Remember Stafford and Goff? They do a Love for Burrow trade. Sending the Bengals with a new GM and new everything into a rebuild. And, back in the day, Stafford for Goff, everyone was like, okay. The Packers win a Super Bowl with Burrow. And the Bengals start rebuilding with Love because they build people around him. I think that they just need to build weapons around their quarterback. I don't know. I mean, sure, Jacobs and all that. Jacobs is not a Saquon. He's not a Derrick Henry. Jacobs gets you maybe 3 yards per rush, and then they feed him touchdowns. That's how it works. He does not have 100 yards over. And we see it happens with a bad running game, you lose.
So the only reason why they won't do that is it's because it's not the Packer way, man. We talking about culture with the Eagles. They like to build their own quarterback. So what they'll do instead is they'll draft a first-round quarterback and let him sit for 2 years, and then let Jordan Love leave. That's just what they're gonna do. They're not gonna trade for one. That's the only reason why not. And also, let's be real. The Cincinnati Bengals would just resign as a dynasty. Resign as an entire team and get moved out of Ohio if they trade away Joe Burrow.
I think, honestly, I don't know. I feel like that trade is coming one day. Burrow's going to want out.
You want to move on to Chiefs and Bills over here?
Yeah, I actually want to talk about Panthers really quick.
Oh, wait, yeah. We didn't even touch on the Panthers. Yeah, go for it because I have...
What did I say? They're making the playoffs. They're 5-4 right now. I have been on the Bryce Young and Panthers train this whole season. Young was 11 of 20, 102 yards and 1 interception. He played terribly and still won. And then you got Dowdle over here with 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. No, the Panthers aren't doing anything. This was a good win. This was cool. They'll probably go 9-8. And I'll be happy with it. I want them to go over 500. I would love if they made the playoffs because I like Bryce Young and I like the Panthers. Cam Newton was the reason I fell in love with football. But, yeah, I mean, they're not a great team. But I think if you're a Panthers fan right now, you got to be a little excited and a little happy.
I mean, yeah, you haven't had a reason to be excited for years.
Yeah. Like, you're kind of seeing, Bryce back in... I'd say before he got benched last year, he was the reason they were losing games. Then he gets benched and he comes back and he's not the reason they're losing games. And this season, he hasn't been the reason they've lost games. He hasn't been the reason they've won games, but he hasn't lost the games for them. And I think this is a necessary step in his development. I think that Bryce has what it takes to be the guy in Carolina. You don't. I saw your face.
Look. You can say what you want about the Panthers. That's fantastic. You just answer me this.
Okay.
What are they? Because, if they make the playoffs, right, do you think that they'll actually win? Do you think they'll win one game?
Nope. They'll be the 7th seed, and they will lose in the first round. They are the 2021 Philadelphia Eagles. And that was a year.
They feel like the Jacksonville Jaguars a little bit, right?
They kind of do, but the reason why I say the 2021 Eagles is because that team was bad. That team was not good. That was Jalen's first year starting, and they didn't have an identity until Shane Steichen took over offensive play calling duties, and they just started running the ball. And it seems like that's what they're now leaning into is give Rico the ball. Just do it. I mean, the rest of their schedule, they play the Saints, Falcons, Niners, Rams, Saints again, Buccaneers, Seahawks, and Bucks. I mean, they'll beat the Saints twice, and I think that they'll beat the Falcons.
Yeah. So here's what I'll say.
They could go 8-9.
So I promise I'm not gonna make every player a comparison to another player. But I wrote this one in my notes. So Bryce Young to me is very talented, great quarterback. He feels like he'll, at the end of the day, be kind of like how Matt Schaub was with the Texans way back in the day, where it's like Schaub was a Pro Bowl quarterback, had multiple 4,000-yard passing seasons, took that team to the playoffs multiple times, and that was a Texans organization that had never been to the playoffs before. Like he really took a team that had put all its faith and hope and love in a Carr, and then Carr just couldn't do anything, and so all of a sudden, right, it's like he was able to kind of revive them and to bring them to life. Had minor playoff success, but he could be the guy to win you games, but he's not going to be the guy to win you elite seasons, if that makes sense. Like I feel like he's, Bryce Young feels to me like a 10-7 quarterback. Yeah. Like he is a Trevor Lawrence-esque guy. Yeah. That you're like, hey, I can throw him out there, and you know what? He might throw for 270 yards. That's great. If we get 270 yards from Bryce Young, I'm going home happy because we probably won that game. But the issue is, 100%. You're not. I don't think that at the end of the day, you throw him even against, we're talking about you throw him against the Lions, he's gonna get destroyed. Genuinely, and that's unless there are some little things. Like they need a lot of ways. They need a lot of coins to hit heads, if that makes sense. Like they need a lot of things to go right for them to win.
Give him 2 good receivers. He has one. He has his. This is why they remind me of the 2021 Eagles. They have Tet. Tet is their Devontae Smith. Get Bryce this offseason. Get him an A.J. Brown. Get him. Maybe they'll get him, and maybe that'll be his guy. But get him another wide receiver. Get him a 1. And see what happens. You never know. You never know. People were writing Hurts off after his first season, and then he has that all-pro season the next year. And it's like, you got to give... Young, granted, Young has been in the league for 3 seasons now. He's coming up on a contract year soon. But that's the perfect time to give him a weapon. Let us see. And if he doesn't, no harm, no foul, go get someone else.
You're telling me that end of career Adam Thielen wasn't the weapon a couple years ago? That's crazy.
He was pretty good on that team, granted.
He was
the weapon.
Yeah, he was decent, not the guy.
Not the guy. Get him get Julio Jones. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, bring him back, man. Bring him back.
Bring him out of retirement.
Yeah, I hear AB's still out there.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Totally. So Chiefs and Bills, man. Chiefs and Bills, man. What are your thoughts? You want to talk about the Bills first? You want to talk about the Chiefs?
Oh, you know what? I kind of want to talk about the winners here. Let's talk about the Bills. They were great. Allen was outstanding, and I know I don't know if we did. I know I did give him a lot of flack last week about being in the MVP race, and with this game, completely shut me up in every way that you could have done that. 23 of 26, 273 yards and 1 touchdown, 19 rushes and 2 touchdowns, almost a perfect passer rating. Would have been the second quarterback this year to do it, and he was phenomenal. Everything he did was the right move. And I got nervous at one point. I thought the Chiefs were going to come back and win when it was 20, I think it was like 20-27, or they were like, yeah, the Chiefs were behind by 7 points. Fully thought that Mahomes was going to tie it. And he almost did. But yeah, that MVP campaign's back. He's currently the favorite right now. I think that I have the top 10 right here. I think it's...
nobody did anything to help their case this week.
No, except him. Except him.
And if you want to do a weird...
And I guess May.
Thing, yeah, well, May didn't have a great game either. They barely won.
And, Stafford. Case.
Stafford had
and
a great
Darnold.
game.
The top 10
touchdowns are crazy.
The top 10 right now are Allen, May, Mahomes, Stafford, Darnold, Lamar.
That's what I was gonna say. He boosted his, but
and Hurts is at 7 now. Love fell to 8, Baker to 9, Taylor to 10. Like, yeah, a lot of people felt Hurts, Allen, and Lamar went up just because of how poorly I think everyone else played.
That's where I was going with that.
Yeah. And Stafford went up too. And Darnold. Stafford and Darnold also went up. But yeah, no, his MVP campaign is back. The Bills, again, I think they always beat the Chiefs in the regular season. I don't think this means anything long term. This literally means nothing. They're still probably going to lose to them in the playoffs. I don't think they have a good enough team to get over the hump. On paper, they're a worse team. So, this is what the Chiefs do. They don't play well. They play their best in the playoffs. And they didn't play their best last time. But, yeah, what do you think about the Bills?
So, 2 questions. First of all, go back to that list. Where was Mahomes on that list?
He's at 3 now.
Okay, so I'll segue from my Bills thought to that.
Yeah.
With the Bills, like off of your note, it was a great game. What I'll say is I think Josh Allen's gonna need, and it's hard to ask, but if anybody can do it, he can. Multiple games like he just had.
Yeah.
I had him listed as a dark horse last week. I think he'll need multiple games like he just had to even. I know he's the favorite right now, but I think when push comes to shove, when everyone looks at those season stats, he's still not there yet.
Yeah.
So I think he needs multiple games, but obviously he took the ship, he righted it. We're on the way, but he's gonna need to not kind of slip up. Similar to kind of like how, the Ravens need to not slip up with the rest of the season. It's like he needs to kind of continue to have those highly efficient games, because he was on a turnover spree the few weeks before. So, he needs to stay efficient. But going to Patrick Mahomes' MVP campaign, man, that has to be in jeopardy, because the Chiefs are entering, in my opinion, panic territory.
Yeah.
They're entering panic territory. And
it was his first game. It was his first game under 50% passing.
Not only that, he had 0 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He had 0 touchdowns on the day. So, he had a rough day. And so it's, granted, it's one of those things of, I don't think that Pat can win MVP if they can't win that division. So
100%.
I think you take him out of the race if they can't be the best team in their own division. Right now, they're 3rd. And so it's I don't know. I was going to ask you, it's what's wrong with the Chiefs, man? Is it simply a lack of running game? Do they need to trade for PRYCES? Or is this all just some big overreacting? Obviously, it's a deadline right now, and they haven't made a move.
No move for running back so far is crazy, because I think that is their issue.
Yeah, deadline's in 20 minutes, man.
You can't be a good team without a run game. Mahomes, does he still lead his team in rushing yards?
I think he's pretty darn close.
Because it's kind of a miracle that they're even 5-4, and they did beat down the Lions on national TV. I'll give them that, and they beat down the Raiders. But the Chiefs have lost to every good team except the Lions. They lost to the Eagles. They lost to the Jags, who are still up in the air if they're good. They beat the Ravens, who aren't a good team, and they beat the Commanders and Raiders. And, their only good win is against the Lions. And I think that, the panic button doesn't need to go on, per se, because I still think that they're probably going to win that division. Their schedule is light for the rest of the year. Actually, no, it's not. They have the Broncos, the Colts, the Cowboys, Texans, Chargers, Titans, Broncos, Raiders. They're probably going to beat the Chargers again. And I think they'll split with the Broncos. That's going to be interesting for me. I'm actually really excited about Chiefs-Broncos, because I think it's going to answer a lot of questions about who the Broncos are.
Oh, yeah.
But they could easily drop a few games.
They could drop one to the Colts, man.
Yeah, I could see them losing that one. But they could also, I feel beat everybody here and maybe just lose to the Broncos once, and then they win the division. You can't ever count the Chiefs out. And if they are a wild card team, it will be very interesting to see how they go through the postseason. We've seen Mahomes go through it going to Buffalo and going to Baltimore, and he won the Super Bowl that year. But we've never seen him not start the season at Arrowhead, not start the postseason there. And I feel like it could be really cool to see. I would love to see the Chiefs away, because I think they'll still win games. I'm still fully on the Mahomes train. I still think he's undoubtedly the best quarterback in the league.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And I don't think his losses are on him. Like, he played bad, 100%, but it's hard to play well when you just cannot run that ball. Allen, every time Cook has under 100 yards, he loses the game. I mean, the only quarterbacks who can win without a good run game right now, it seems to just be like Baker and Love has won a few games without a good run game. And it's like, and Jalen. I mean, Jalen has had one good game with a run game. But, you know, I also want to talk about with them this whole Allen-Mahomes rivalry thing. Is this a rivalry?
I think it feels kind of little brother-esque. It's one of those, like, you know, we have Josh Allen that is in more of a rivalry with Patrick Mahomes than Patrick Mahomes is with Josh Allen.
Yeah.
You know, it feels, or like same way that like the Ravens hate the Chiefs, where it's like,
Or Bengals and stuff like that.
yeah, right. Where like I feel like the Bengals one feels more real to me a little bit because they did make the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So you know, it's like and granted that was a few years ago now at this point, but because they did make the Super Bowl, it feels like that's a little more real. But beyond that, no, I don't know if this is. I would say it's a version of a rivalry, but it doesn't feel. It feels about as competitive as the Chiefs can get with another team in the AFC right now, until proven otherwise.
I kind of agree. I feel like everybody loves to say that Mahomes and Josh are the rivals, but I disagree. I think Mahomes' rival is Brady. And Brady's not even in the league anymore. His rival is Brady, and Allen isn't his rival because he just always beats him in the playoffs. And it's not like Peyton and Brady where, you know, they exchange, because Peyton beat Brady in the playoffs, I'm pretty sure, a lot of times.
It was like two times, I believe.
Was it 2 times? I thought he was like, oh yeah, no, but also like Peyton won 2 Super Bowls, and Allen has yet to get there. And it's just like, to me, like, you know, I don't think that Allen is his right. I think the closest thing, it's Brady is his, like, number one. That's Mahomes' guy. But the closest thing to a rival in the league, if we could even call it that, I think is probably Jalen. You know, they 1-1 in the Super Bowl. They play each other every year, and they are a perfect. No, I think they're 3-2 now. The Eagles are 3-2 against him in the regular season, and 1-1 in the Super Bowl. And it's just like, that's probably
their outer conference, right?
Yeah, so it's tougher because they're out of conference. But again, like, you look at it, they've played each other every season since they've both like been starters in the league. There hasn't been a season that they haven't met, and I think I'm not gonna say like Jalen and Mahomes are rivals, but out of the people in the league right now, if you had to give him one, I think it's probably Jalen, the closest to it. But, you know, Brady's like the guy. Brady is the one that he is compared to. Brady is the one that he is constantly like, is he in GOAT talks? That's his rival.
That's the guy he's chasing.
Yeah,
you know?
That's the guy he's chasing.
He has to win 6 Super Bowls to be up with him. Like, before the end of his career, otherwise no one's going to be like, oh, yeah, you know, maybe Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT. It's like, no, it's like he has to win 6 or else, or that's it. Like, that's where we're going.
I agree.
Yeah.
Let's move along to Seahawks at Commanders. What a tragic game. Genuinely sad. Injuries are terrible. Seeing a young quarterback have an injury like that, thank goodness it seems like it's just like he's out for the season. It wasn't his throwing arm, so he should be good to go next year. What does this loss mean to the Commanders?
Pack it up, man. Pack it up. Go home. We're done.
Back to the basement.
I mean, like, it feels. So I think this was a testament on both teams because the Seahawks are starting to look scary. You know, but it feels like the Commanders are done. Like it feels like this season is over. You're not gonna win with Marcus Mariota. Like, again, we talked about, like, it does feel like one of those weird playoffs where there's gonna be like a ton of weird quarterbacks in there. I'm sorry, Marcus Mariota is not going to be one of them, right? So it's like, it feels that way. Now, what I will say is, for the Commanders, I would be worried, and I am worried about Jalen, but have you seen the comparison of RG3 and JD5?
Yeah. Yes.
I
yes.
mean, insane. Well, first of all, like their rookie stats. Have you looked at those? Because those
Well,
are even crazier.
Wasn't he RG3 was like rookie of the year? Like this guy was amazing.
RG3 was rookie of the year. Their injuries, their second year, by the way, happened at the exact same yard line, in the exact same stadium, on second down against the exact same team. Like that's how weird it is. But
if you're a Commanders fan, dude, that is bad.
Like that's rough. I mean, but like even like their rookie years, like we talk about how great JD5 was, right? It's like in their rookie years they both played 15 games. RG3 was 9-6, JD5 was 10 and RG3 was 9-6, JD5 was 10-5. You know, both around 65 to 69% completion percentage. RG3 had 3,200 yards, JD5 had 3,300 yards. You know, our JD5 had 22 passing touchdowns, RG3 had 20. RG3 only had 5 interceptions, JD5 had 8. And then, you know, they both rushed for, RG3 had 815 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns, and JD5 had 737 and 6.
Yeah.
So it's like, from that perspective, RG3 was going to be generational, and then he came back from injury, and he wasn't the same. And I would be worried a little bit that JD5's on that RG3 trajectory. And I hate to say that, but it's one of those things of like, he hasn't looked lights out this season already. He wasn't blowing the world up. And I think Dan Quinn's a great coach. I don't think this injury's on him. Like, hindsight's 20/20. And you know, but players play in blowouts all the time. You're having a quarterback come back from injury, and you're having this game is already over, and it's a get right situation. You know, it's like, hey, let's try to gain momentum before the next game. We see it happen all the time. You know, a team will go and score a touchdown in the last minute. It's like, okay, well, they looked capable. They looked good. Yeah. And so, you know, you can't blame a coach for trying to get your team back in garbage time, just trying to keep it on course. I feel for him because I do think he's a great coach. I think he's, you know, a fantastic head coach. Obviously, he's one of those that was like a fantastic coordinator as well. But man, dude, I'm hurting for JD5, man. That really sucks.
Same. One of my questions was, is Jaden what we feared, which was injury prone? And yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you said. It sucks to say it because, you know, he last season was outstanding. You make it to the NFC Championship game with Jaden, and everything looks up. And to have it happen in this way, and I agree, I don't blame Dan Quinn for this. I do not think he should have pulled Jaden at any point. It would have made no sense. You don't do that. No coach does that, actually. If it's 38-7, you keep your guys in there. You get them that touchdown, and then you take them out. Like, they get that 14-38 just to be like, all right, we're going to end it with you getting a touchdown, keep our momentum going into the next week. You know, we lost, but we're going to keep you in. I fully support his decision to keep Jaden in. That's not on him. Where I do start blaming people is the front office. The GM is bad, and everybody gave him so much praise. Adam Peters, right? I think that's who it is.
I believe so.
Everyone gave him so much praise. The Commanders have the oldest team in the league, and they have 2 draft picks next year. The Eagles just won the Super Bowl, and we have 6 left. And we are one of the youngest teams in the league. This team is poorly run, and there is only so much you can do as a coach and a quarterback if your team is poorly run. You should not have this defense with Lattimore and with Sanders still. And I mean, like, and now you have Debo that you just paid, like, money to, and Zach Ertz, who's now on there. And Ertz is great still. Like, he's playing well. But this team, I mean, Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, and you spent a second-round pick on Ben Sinnott last year.
Yeah, what are we doing? Like,
and he hasn't. He's a fullback. He hasn't done anything.
This GM is terrible. He's actually a detriment to this franchise, and this franchise has a chance to make Super Bowls. They still do. Even after this year, I'm not writing them off, but they just wasted a year. You wasted a year with Jaden, and, you know, again, like, the injury could have happened no matter what. It's less likely this injury is going to happen if you build a good team around your player. And like I've been saying, you need a good team to win. Jaden was able to get that far last year with an okay team. We understand it. They didn't win. They got blown out when it really mattered. And it's like, this loss is, to me, fully on the GM. It's not on Jaden. I'm not going to give Jaden any crap for how he's played for these past few games, because I think, again, there's only so much you can do when you're throwing to just random people and your O-line is that bad. He's a great quarterback. We all know he's a great quarterback. You just can't leave him out to die like that. And it reminds me of the old Washington Commanders. It's 5 steps forward last season, and now you're going 10 steps back.
Yep.
I mean, this was the year, the NFC East curse. They were supposed to win the division this year.
Yep.
A team isn't supposed to go back-to-back to win. That doesn't happen. And now a team will, because they're done.
So let me ask you this. Speaking of NFC East, next 3 years, we won't, you can throw playoff seasons into there, whatever. Who has a better win-loss record? The New York Giants or the Washington Commanders?
Giants. I think the Giants are in a better situation to succeed here.
And that is, had you told me that going into this season, I would have laughed hysterically.
No, the Giants next year I think are going to make the playoffs. They could possibly be wild cards. And I think obviously with the NFC East, Philly's going to be an issue every year until probably 2029. I think the Cowboys, you never can ever really write them off completely.
You can't write them in either. But
no, you can't. Yeah, they're in this weird limbo where it's they could go 12-5, or Dak can get hurt and you're done, or it could be like this season where your defense they don't have anything on defense. But yeah, it's sad. If you're a Commanders fan, there's no real hope, and going into the draft, you have no hope. Going into next season, there's again not a lot of hope. And I guess there is kind of hope for the draft, because I think you still have your first round pick. You could try to get an O-line, or maybe get a receiver. I think they need to get another number one, because Terry is done. He's not done, but he's done. This guy will not ever have the season he had last year. Paying him was such a mistake. I get it. They wanted to be reward you with a great season, a great contract. He's 30 years old.
Numbers. Yeah, he had great touchdown numbers. He feels like a better version of Jacoby Myers, where it's
he feels or not Javonte Williams, Jameson Williams,
Yeah.
Imagine trading Jameson in a first round pick for Terry McLaurin in fantasy.
Yeah, who would do that?
I did that to Brayden. I don't know why I did that. I really believed in Terry. But yeah, no, that's I don't really want to talk much. I feel like we talked about the Seahawks. They're good.
They're good.
They're a good team.
Yeah, they're solid.
They could win that division. That's going to be the division in the NFC this year. It's not going to be the North. They're going to have multiple playoff teams there. I think the Niners, Rams, and Seahawks could all make it.
I agree wholeheartedly. And that's where I sit with there, and I'm I don't even know who's going to win that division. They all feel tough. And, of course, we learned last night that even the Arizona Cardinals are a phenomenal team.
Without Kyler.
They're the best team ever. Look, we're going to get to the Cowboys. But before we do, I do want to ask, do you think, going on to – so we're filming this, as always, on Tuesday. So we watched the Monday night game last night, and Freddie and I were texting back and forth, and it was very sad. But do you think, on a very real level, if you're a Cardinals fan right now, do you even want Kyler back right now? Because, Jacoby looks like an actual quarterback. Marv is eating with them, man. This team, they were – granted, it's not hard to be surgical against the Cowboys defense, but they were surgical last night, man.
They were great, and they were against the Packers too. No, you don't want Kyler back. I think that Kyler, I don't think he's a bad quarterback in the way that Tua is. I don't think he's on the right team.
They have a similar vibe, man. They have a similar vibe.
I think that Kyler could rush better, and I don't know.
It feels like something mentally is not there.
Yeah.
There's a mental block. It feels like Tua now is just down in the dumps, and it feels like Kyler's distracted just constantly.
Yeah. No, I think we gotta. I don't know. I think Brissett has been phenomenal with them. He's been great. He hasn't turned the ball over. He might have against the Packers. I don't remember, but he's been great. He's been tearing up defenses. People were calling Marvin Harrison Jr. a bust. And
it was crazy. He tied his career high in catches last night by halftime with 6. Now, granted, that is crazy. Like, if you're spending the 4th overall pick, it was a 4th or 3rd. But if you're spending that high of a pick on a guy, you gotta pepper him with targets. Like, you gotta pepper him
100%.
with
He's
the
your
ball.
go-to guy, and like, for some
so
reason,
the fact that he's
Kyler
not having that till now, it's crazy.
Yeah, and Kyler wouldn't target him, and he would remember they would like ask him in the interviews like, hey, so what's going on with like you and Marv, and then he would just say something like, I target who's open. Marv is open on every play, by the way. Like he isn't.
His route running was phenomenal.
It was
last night,
great.
Dude.
He was outstanding. And Deron Bland is a good corner. He burned him.
Is he good
CD?
corner?
Did you see CD Lamb? He was like,
oh yeah. My face looked the same way, man. I was freaking out.
It was great. And I will say, the Cardinals are not a good team. They had 0 yards in the 4th quarter until the Javonte fumble. And then you heard the Cardinals players yelling, Javonte's ass! Javonte's ass! That wasn't very nice of them. But, I think that, the Cardinals aren't good. They're not. But, with Brissett, you have a chance to win some games. And if you start him now, I think they'd be pleasantly surprised with how they'll do. And if they don't, you could always go back to Kyler. This is a year where you don't even know what's going to happen. Paying Kyler was a bad decision. They did it after he got 11 games, and then they lost all these games and were first-round exits in the playoffs. And since then, I don't think they've been back.
This just feels like one of those years, right, where it's like they're going to finish the season. Jacoby Brissett will, go on and be a backup somewhere else, right? Kyler will get traded or cut or something. And it just feels like one of those teams that they're going to sign Mac Jones, right? To like a 1-year deal, 1-year kind of prove-it deal, and he'll actually be decent next year. Like, it feels like that, or even like, staying in the Jones family, if the Colts can't get a deal done with Daniel Jones, then like he comes over to the Cardinals kind of thing, right? Like, it feels like the time is done with Kyler. And if Jacoby wasn't doing so well, I don't know, I don't think I'd be saying this, but the fact that Jacoby Brissett has unlocked an offense that should not have been locked in the first place, that has invested a lot of money in Trey McBride and a lot of time and draft capital in these guys, and now he's doing it with less weapons than Kyler had because their running game shouldn't exist. Bam Knight was on nobody's radar going into this year, and now he's a starting running back until Trey Benson can come back, right?
Yeah.
So, and who knows if that's even going to happen. So
no, I know.
It feels like one of those teams that even maybe they're going to try to go do something with like signing Rico Dowdle or something like that. Like, it feels like one of those teams that they're going to pick up on a lot of these guys that may be flashes in the pan this year, but you have enough weapons, you have enough tools in that offense that you can't just sit with Kyler for so long, man.
Yeah, I just think that I agree with everything you said. It's Kyler had some great moments in his career as a Cardinal, and he was never amazing. He was always just so. And I agree with you. I think that a really good thing could be Mac Jones. I mean, we could talk about 49ers QB controversy with him. But he's been great this year. And he hasn't had a lot of weapons around him on that offense. He's had McCaffrey, a good run game, who's kind of that whole team right now.
Dude, I can't believe he sacrificed his own brother, by the way. Luke McCaffrey's out for the year.
He's done.
That's another guy sacrificed to keep Christian McCaffrey healthy this year, man.
That's true.
Another guy.
Yeah, he also sacrificed Hampton.
He's been going after running backs. He's been going after his own teammates, and now he's gone after his own family, man.
Yeah, he tried to go after Saquon's groin. You saw that?
I never go after another man's groin. Dude.
No,
that's
you can't do
off
that.
limits.
You can't do that. I want to talk to you about the Cowboys.
Do we have to?
Unfortunately, and I saved it all the way here for like the end and like our last segment before we get to
the fun stuff.
The fun gauntlet. Who are you blaming for this loss?
Everyone. No, I mean, like, genuinely. Okay, so the body language was awful last night. Like, as soon as the game got a little out of reach. I mean, granted, after that pump block touchdown, it looked like the game was going to turn around. And as soon as the Cardinals went down, drove down, and got that touchdown, I mean, the game was over. Like, you could have just called it right there. Because everybody, I mean, you could see the game was somewhat in reach near the end there, right? They had enough time. It was like 8 minutes left.
When they were up by 10, I was like,
Yeah, I mean, 8 minutes left. They were down by 2 scores, but you could see everybody on the sideline was already done.
Yeah.
You know, George Pickens was ticked off. CD was pissed off. Javonte was sad. You know, and it's all those things of like, it goes back to what I said last week. Dak needs to play at an MVP level every game, or they're going to lose, and they're not going to get that every game. Like, they're just not.
Yeah.
So, I think I wrote in my notes, I said, just get the plates out, man, because this team's cooked. Like, we're just done. It's a fun, done season. I will say, I've been searching, ever since we talked last night, I've been searching for the stat. I can't find it. So if anybody, if any of our listeners can find it, please send it to us. I want to chart that for the rest of time. Of how many games have ended with a Dak Prescott interception. Because it feels like every single game that the Cowboys lose, it does. And granted, you know, the game was already kind of over in that time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to hold those against him.
No, but it always feels like it, man. It feels like he tries to do too much at the end of the game. And, you know, it's a Dak Prescott interception in some version. Because, you know, there's some version that Brandon Aubrey's been trying his onside kicks or something, right? Like, if they had gone down there and scored a touchdown, we're still talking about a one-possession game. No, the Cowboys are cooked. I think it was honestly, whose fault it is, it's Jerry Jones. Like, it's a personnel issue at this point. It's not. I don't think it's coaching. I think Schottenheimer's way better than I expected. I think you got to get rid of. Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, Eberflus. Like, get rid of him. It's our bye week coming up, so you know, I wish that they would just fire him then. Give a chance for the team to kind of right the ship a little bit. They're not going to. But I think it's Eberflus and then a personnel issue. I think the offense can't. Granted, the offense couldn't score a touchdown to save their lives last night, but I don't think that game is on the offense. I think at the end of the day, as a defense, you can't let Jacoby Brissett light you up. Like,
no, I agree.
And Deron Bland can't get torched every single play. Because they shut the run game down. The run game wasn't doing anything. But also, I don't know if you saw, they couldn't tackle.
Yeah, they missed so many tackles.
They kept going for big hits.
Like,
it's like it genuinely was playing Madden, like when you go for the big hit and you just whiff on the guy. Like, that was the entire thing. They kept going for big hits, and these guys just kept bowling ball, like, just kept rolling right through them. I will keep watching every game, and I will keep being sad. But this feels not like a Mike McCarthy run team. It feels like a Jason Garrett run team. And that's where it's rough. Where it feels like a good offense, but a poorly designed team.
Yeah.
We're cooked.
I think that Schottenheimer has been a great coach so far. I think he's done as well as he can. I will say this loss was probably the most on him out of any of them. They left 6 points on the board. Granted, it's only 6 points, but I don't think we realize how much that could have really helped the offense if you just, in the beginning of the game, put your ego aside, go for 3. Say they go down and they get 7. If not, the defense is like, you know, we just got 3. Stop them. We go down. We'll get 10 now.
Yeah, why are you that afraid of the Cardinals? I mean, obviously we saw why.
Well, that's the thing. And I'm like, you're at home. You know, you got all this. Why would you skip 2 3-point kicks? And I mean, I feel like the last one that they missed out on, the game was kind of over at that point, and you needed that touchdown. But that first one, set the momentum for the whole game. And as a coach, if you see your players' body language just giving up like that, I mean, this was the first time I saw George Pickens be George Pickens. Like, he went up to that dude and put the ball right in his face. Granted, he got a first down, but it negated the first down. You go back to 1st and 10 where you just were. And it was just everybody, and I'm not even going to give Dak any, I don't think Dak played bad. That last interception, the O-line was awful. And you go to that last interception where it's 4th and 18 or so. He's just trying to, at that point, he's like, I'm just trying to get this ball down. And the O-line couldn't even block on that play. Like, he had to run out of the pocket and then just be like, you know what, I'm throwing it. So that pick, I'm like, it's an interception. He threw it because he tried to make a play, and 9 times out of 10, no quarterback is making that. And yeah, I just think Dak, like you said, needs to play perfect every game. They're not going to win a game unless he plays perfect. And we know he can because he has an offense that is amazing. They have the weapons. They have the personnel. They can do it. But again, I think a good offense does feed off of its defense sometimes. Same with the defense feeding off of its offense. Yeah, I think that Schottenheimer is to blame a bit for this one. Eberflus is always to blame. I do not know how he still has a job. He is awful. And, I mean, Trayvon Diggs, I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know where he is. I think he's given up on the team.
He's been hurt, but, like,
his best friend left. He's like, I'm done.
Yeah, I think the only way that we're getting him back is if in the offseason we find a way to get Stephon Diggs. Like, you gotta get the brothers together at that point, because like that would be good actually. I think that would be a good move for them. Yeah, I feel like at this point.
But I mean, you guys are gonna probably pay Pickens too, so it's like, why would you get Stephon if you have CD and Pickens?
Oh yeah, and also the Patriots aren't gonna trade Stephon.
No, yeah, they're not gonna trade it. I mean, CD. Do you see a future in which the Cowboys get rid of CeeDee Lamb, or do you think like he's going to be their building block?
We love our 88s too much.
So you think he's going to be like when Dak is gone, because Dak is 30, or is he 32?
I think he's 31.
He's 31. So he's 31. I mean, inevitably retirement will come. Do you think that CeeDee Lamb becomes the building block that you like shape the team around?
I mean, at that point, it feels like late stage, like Julio Jones, like I honestly think they're probably going to ride out the sunset together. Like the way that a receiver ages in the league versus a quarterback, it feels like they both have about 6 years left or 5 years left, if we're lucky. So I don't think that necessarily, because CeeDee's 28, 29, something like that. Like, CeeDee's not young either.
No, he's, Is he 28?
I think he's up there. So it's not like...
No, he's 26.
26? Oh, never mind.
Yeah, he played with Jalen. They were drafted the same year.
Forgot about that. Okay. Well, I mean, like, but even there, I could be like, you're talking about a 31-year-old receiver in 5 years, and you're talking a 36-year-old quarterback.
Yeah.
Very, like, there's plenty of guys that go up, especially when you stay like a pocket passer. If Dak can stay at the level that he's kind of been at this season, then yeah, totally. But I don't know. I think they're going to kind of go out together. But either way, they're definitely not going to trade him. Jerry loves his 88s, man. And if you give someone that 88, they are staying there until they go full Des Bryant and just disappear afterwards.
That's a good point. But yeah, we'll see how we'll see if the Cowboys are able to bounce back after the bye week. Yeah, we'll see. Let's move on. 2 hours.
Trades, we'll see.
Well, I mean, yeah, you never know. You never know. But moving on to our fun gauntlet.
Oh yeah, here we go. What's our first section here, Brayden? So you were pretty quick on the nose last week. You were pretty quick on the nose. I'm gonna send you 3 photos here. We're gonna guess that player right here. We're gonna guess that player. So I'm going to send you 3 photos. These are all the stats of this player. Once again, these are active players only. This is, I'll tell you right now, you can already kind of tell. It's going to be a running back. I'll list out some of the stats. So this guy's been in the league now for 6 years. You're 1-0 in guessing these. I have a feeling you're not going to get this one. So 6 years in the league. Only played 5 games this year, so there's your hint, right? So maybe that's injury, maybe that's he wasn't signed. But he did play this year, but only played 5 games. Played 17 games last year, so a full season last year. But first 2 years is of note. He was the PPR running back 13 with 202 points only in 14 games. And then the year after that, his second year, he was the PPR running back 12 with 229. After that, he went 165, 127, 103, and then this year, 23. So he really fell off after that second year. He had a 1,000-yard rushing season his second year, where he was 258 for 1,037. Year before that, his rookie year, he was 170 for 795, had 11 touchdowns that year. Second year, he had 7. But then that third year, he had 149 carries for 546 and only 3 touchdowns, and then that just plummets after that. Receiving, he obviously doesn't seem like he was ever much of a receiving back. Only 247 receiving yards that first year, 294 that second year, then 353, 389 after that. But yeah, so there's your player this week. I can give you some hints if you need them, but if you're playing at home, feel free to pause now and think about who that is. We can always put in the show notes some screenshots if you want to see. But yeah, so Freddie, you have any guesses so far? I can also give you some guesses if you want to try to get it in like 3, or do you want to get it in the first one like you did last week?
I'm unlike last week. I feel completely lost on this one. I'm gonna take a hint guess.
Okay, so this guy has been on 2 NFL teams in his career.
Oh shit! Well, that. Oops! I just cursed, so I'm paying for the parlay.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 NFL teams his entire career. Am I allowed to look up players right now or no? No.
I mean, if you want. He's been on 2 NFL teams his entire career.
Okay. I think I know who it is.
Okay.
But I just need to be validated here.
I'll say this.
Oh, I know who it is.
Okay.
I think.
Who is it?
Wait, no, I don't. I don't know who it is. Oh, wait. Is it Najee Harris?
No.
No! Really? I thought it was.
Wait, I'll keep it going. He's 27 now, which that fits with Najee as well.
Okay, 27.
He's 27. 27
Gotcha.
This year. And those 5 games are due to injury. He is currently out for the rest of the year.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. I gotta stop. Dang.
We're getting demonetized here.
Okay. So...
at one point in his career, this is where I'll also say this, and this is where listeners at home might be able to get it immediately. He was touted by his head coach as the next Christian McCaffrey.
Okay. Touted as the next Christian McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm. By his own head coach.
And he's out for the year.
This year.
Okay.
That was at one point. That was not recent.
Okay. God. Dude, why am I washed?
Oh, you want me to give you his first team?
Yes, please.
The Washington Commanders.
Is it Brian Robinson Jr.?
No.
Oh! Okay, wait. Washington Commanders, 2020 running back.
Yep.
Okay. It was Taylor Heineke. Was their quarterback and their running back. Who the heck was their running back, man?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to say it and I'm going to feel so dumb.
No. His current NFL team, the New England Patriots.
Oh my God. I know his name, but I don't know his name. Just say it.
Antonio Gibson.
Okay. I wouldn't have gotten his name.
I mean, we're talking about a guy who was a top 12 running back at age like 20 and then 21 there. Yeah, we're looking at a guy that was a top 12 and then fell off the face of the earth, man. Ron Rivera,
I can't
good old
believe that he
Riverboat
had...
Ron was the head coach, and Riverboat Ron called him he said he was going to be the next Christian McCaffrey.
Wow, this guy really fell off.
I mean, going from 1,000 rushing yards to 500 in the following year. Really, the yards per carry didn't see that big of a dip, right? He's seen over 4 each year, with the exception of that third year. But that third year was so bad. And the one part that I omitted, that I did not show, it was just totally by accident, but I should have shown it, is I believe it was because of another issue he had this year, which are those fumbles. He has never been able to hold on to the ball for his life. I can't find his fumbling stats right here. Let me do Antonio Gibson fumbles. Yeah, he has, over his career total, it looks like 17 times he's fumbled the ball.
That's
fumbled
really
the ball.
bad, and he's only had 11 touchdowns. Or no, total. Or no. No, I'm looking at the wrong thing.
He went that first year, he had 2
He had 11
fumbles,
the first
right?
year, and then 7, 3, 1, 1, 1.
But that second year that he had his best season, he also had 6 fumbles. So it's one of those things of, I mean, he was averaging, including this year where he's injured, he was averaging 2.8 fumbles a season.
Wow.
So there goes to show you, if your running back can't hold on to the football, then he can't rush the football. He just will not be given those opportunities. But yeah, Antonio Gibson.
Notes.
So there we go. 1 for 1. 1 for 2 now. 1 for 2.
1 for 2.
Officially stumped. Yeah, you lost last week. Or you won last week.
No, I won last week.
Yeah,
so I'm 1 for 1. Oh, yeah. 1 for 2.
Yeah, math.
So I'm 1 and 1.
Okay. Yeah, you're 1 and 1. You're 1 and 1. You're playing 500. You got a better record doing this than Josh does in fantasy football. So
that's true.
Yep, there you go. So, fine. Do we do this this parlay?
Let's do this parlay, man.
Oh yeah, I think you're paying this week because
I'm paying. I'm messed
your
up.
One lost first. Are we using DraftKings this week?
We are using DraftKings.
Fantastic.
DraftKings Sportsbook is it? No, I'm just kidding. Until they sponsor us, they'll get no press. But what are we thinking this week, Brayden? What are we thinking?
Okay, so I guess I get to do the first one. So we're still in the point where there's not really any singular props.
No,
right?
but I could write them down and I could like put the parlay in tomorrow or something.
Yeah, it's up to you. I mean, we can just pull it how it is now so we can see the line, and just know that we probably don't have many singular except for the Thursday night game.
Yeah.
I'll say we're gonna start easy. We're gonna start easy here. Easy does it. Denver Broncos money line, man. Just start nice and easy. Again, we can hit as many legs whenever one person finally says stop.
Love it. Love it.
Denver Broncos money line. That's what I'm going with. It's a negative 500 line. It should be simple.
Beautiful. I love that. I'm gonna go as well. I'm gonna do a.
Are you going risky first?
I'm gonna do a touchdown scorer. I'm gonna go with a Brock Bowers touchdown.
I like that. I really like that.
I'll be calm. I'll be calm to start.
Yeah, I really like that. No, I mean, I thought you were going to say 2 touchdowns for Brock Bowers. I thought you were going to keep it. Cool. Well, then let's also run over. I'm going to throw in I'll throw in a Indianapolis Colts over the Falcons. Minus 298.
All right.
I think the Colts can run that, especially kind of based off what we talked about earlier. It's like the vibes are going to be up. They believe in the team.
Okay. I like that one. You know, I kind of want to go for an upset. Give me the Eagles over the Packers.
Love it. The fact that that's an upset is crazy. I love that one. Give me another upset, and you can choose that this is the one that kills it for you. The Patriots over the Buccaneers.
No, that's not crazy to me. I'm like, that's a good one. Because I have another upset, and you could choose if this one will kill it for you.
If you say Dolphins right now, I'm leaving.
The Giants over the Bears.
I don't hate that one.
That's not ridiculous, is it?
Crap, I thought I was going to hate that one. Oh, dang it. Oh wait, we're gonna stick on the money lines. We're going Bills over Dolphins.
I'm down. I love it.
Yep, gets easy.
Cool. Those are too much. I can't do those. I'll stick with the money line again. Lions over Commanders.
Great. I'm gonna go Seahawks over Cardinals too.
Yeah, that's not ridiculous either.
We're on a run, man. We're on a run. We're staying alive.
Yeah, the issue is there's like nothing else. All right, you know what? I'm gonna bring us back to Broncos Raiders. Oh boy. You know what? No, this one won't be crazy. Give me a Bo Nix passing touchdown. Just one.
Yeah, that seems good. That seems pretty doable. You know how to just mark that in, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. In that case, this is where it might get a little crazy. I'm gonna get a little wild here. Give me Brock Bowers for 8+ catches.
Okay, and that'll be the last leg of the parlay.
There you go. I think it's going to be Brock Bowers, 8 catches or more.
Okay.
They have no more Jacoby Myers, man.
That's true.
So is that...
Well, that is a $10 parlay for $2,223.
That's crazy.
Brayden, if we
10
hit
picks
this...
now? Did something get removed?
From our current one?
Yeah.
No, we got Seahawks money line, Lions money line, Bills money line, Giants, Patriots, Eagles, Colts money line.
Oh, I think I removed your Bo. I think it removes your Bo Nix one because it doesn't boost it anymore.
Oh, why did it remove the Bo Nix one?
Because do you see that where it says it's a 10-leg parlay?
Oh yeah, it's a 10 pick. Yep.
I think it's just because the Brock Bowers one was crazy enough that it didn't think that it boosted it enough. If you want to choose something easy to boost it, you can.
What would you like? Do you want to go with the Brock Bowers or do you want to try to win 2K?
What do you mean?
Like, do you want to go with Brock Bowers 8 receptions or would you?
I mean, so we can. We'll bet. Well, you know what? We'll do this. We'll back out of the Brock Bowers.
Okay.
8 receptions. Let's see what 7 receptions does. It
Okay.
still removes the one touchdown.
Yeah. I'm cool with 7. 7 is like.
Oh wait, so we'll do
with
do
7. That's
1,700, but it still removes the Bo Nix touchdown. So that's why I was like, I was gonna give you an opportunity to put another one in there.
Nah, I like the Bowers 7. You know what?
Cool.
Go
so
big or go
we'll
home.
even it out on there. We'll even it out on there then. So it's a
down with that.
10-leg parlay for $1,700.
If we win this, we don't have to do this podcast anymore.
We win this. This podcast budget is about to go through the roof.
Yeah, we'll get a studio and everything. This would be.
We're gonna sponsor ourselves.
It's crazy to say that this is like not a ridiculous. Like this is winnable.
Yep.
All right,
That's
I'm
right.
putting the 10 down,
10 down.
and we're good.
10 for 10 there. There's a 10 for 10.
Unreal.
Yep, there we go.
We're
So
about
so feel free to follow us to follow that line. You
Follow
gotta
us
do
on the
it on
craziest
Wednesday.
parlay.
Yep, you gotta do it on Wednesday. Or I mean, yeah, do it as soon as you listen to this. And if you win, send us a little message and say you're really cool. And
Yeah.
if you win and chose to not take one of our advice on something, also send us that message and gloat.
Yeah, gloat it out for us and just be like, you guys are stupid.
Yeah, tell us that we're really stupid. So let's go to fighters or frauds here. Let's go,
Let's
we talked
do
about
it.
the Seahawks, man. Seahawks return. Are you saying they're fighters or frauds?
Seahawks are fighters, man. I thought they were going to be frauds. I would have called them frauds if it was a close win. That was not a close win. That was a beatdown on national TV. They're fighters, man.
I agree wholeheartedly. Something feels different in the air, man. And oh man, Sam Darnold's coming with a vengeance, dude. I love it. I love it. You want to go Panthers, fighters or frauds?
Panthers. Pains me to say it. They're frauds, unfortunately, but they're frauds challenged because I don't think anyone thinks they're fighters. They're frauds who I love and respect.
Hold the line, man. Frauds all the way. They might not even make the playoffs.
Yeah. I take it back. These guys are fighters. I'm going all in on the Panthers this year. These guys are fighters. They're making the playoffs. They're going 10-7. They're going to split with the Buccaneers one game.
Speaking of playoffs, a team that I think is a fraudulent playoff team, the new Green Bay Packers. Where are you on that?
I don't think they're frauds. I think that they are in a weird middle zone. I'm going to still call them fighters because I think that they could fight against the best teams. But they're kind of in an area where it's like they're on probation. Like, until they prove me otherwise, they are in the fraud zone. They beat the Eagles next week. I'm putting them completely into fighters. And then the Eagles will be on this list.
Oh, yeah. Ravens, what are you feeling?
Fighters, man. We're back. Ravens are back once again. I mean, we always knew they would be. They're back.
Yeah, Dirty Birds, man. Fighters.
Dirty Birds. Way. Edgar Allan and Poe are here with a vengeance.
Crazy. And last but not least, you what do you have on the Broncos?
Ooh, Broncos, man. These guys are like the opposite of the Seahawks. I think they're, unfortunately, and for our friend Gavin, I think these guys may be frauds.
This is where we're gonna disagree.
Yeah.
I think these guys are not only fighters, I think they're elite fighters. I think they could win that division, and I do think, akin to Jaden Daniels and the Commanders' run last year, I think they could, that defense is good enough, and if Surtain comes back, it's like it is good enough to make the conference title game, and if he can make it there, you never know what happens. Yeah.
The only reason why I have them in frauds is because I don't know if I could trust Bo Nix. So far he's proven me wrong in every way, but again, you cannot win every game just coming alive in the fourth quarter. He's not been playing well, and that's just the numbers. The numbers show he's not been playing well, and you were against Davis Mills. Like, you had a 48% completion rate with 173 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and a 68.9 passer rating. Like, he's had 2 games where he's had over 100 passer ratings, and that was against the Colts and the Cowboys. So, I don't know. I don't think they're going to win the division. I think that they will have a collapse, whether it's the first round of the playoffs or a little bit before then. I do think they'll make the playoffs, but yeah, no, they're frauds to me. They are frauds.
So one last team we didn't have on our notes, but I do want to ask, just because we haven't talked about them much all day, but we talked about them a lot last week. After seeing them beat the Lions, man, Minnesota, where do you have them?
Oh, yeah, we really should have talked about them because I feel like they were such a focal point. They're confusing to me still, but I do really like how they seem to now fully be trusting JJ. Like, this is their guy, and Kevin O'Connell, much to how much I ragged on him last week, they got Jefferson the ball once, and I'd love to see Jefferson get more touches. I'd love to see them trust him more, but I don't know. JJ played a good enough game to win. He wasn't outstanding by any means, but he was good, and I all I ask is for JJ to play well. And if he could play well, they're chilling. They could be fighters. But again, they're the Vikings. The Vikings are always frauds. Every year they're frauds. So I'm not going to put them in fighters.
I love that defense so much.
It's great.
It's a great defense. I do want to see JJ succeed in an out of conference or even out of division game, because as we've talked about, division games are so weird, so fluky.
Yeah.
And he was back in Michigan, man. He was back in Michigan. He was in Detroit, and he feels good in Michigan. So I think
they're running that ball.
I think as a team they are I think they're fighters, but they feel on the level that I felt about the Seahawks last week, where it's like fighters, but I could be convinced otherwise.
Yeah.
I want to see them. I want to see them see how they can do, with JJ going forward. But I'm on the Vikings train a little bit, man. I'm here for it. I like it. I really like.
Yeah, the Vikings are cool. I want Jones. Jones had a great game too. Aaron Jones was great. But yeah, their Vikings will be frauds until they prove me that they could win a playoff game. But here we are for the most exciting segment ever. Last week we had some projectile vomiting.
I'm gonna get seasick again.
As I showed us the greatest list of all time.
Give me a life raft.
With Freddy's fluctuating flotilla.
I'm so scared.
Of quarterbacks.
Oh, man.
And today, Brayden, are you ready for another outstanding showing?
Dude, you better give me a life raft right now. Like I'm so ready. You know those little like the emergency boats on the side that they cut the ropes and you go down. Like
Oh, yeah.
I genuinely feel like there has to be an iceberg on the way, man. After last week, I'm still throwing up just thinking about last week. So
This week on the Fluctuating Flotilla, we set sail once again for some absolutely correct quarterback rankings. Now, we're going to start with our first guys who are on land. Purdy, Daniels, Kyler, Burrow. Not ranking them. They're hurt. They're on land. You know, they missed the ship this time.
they gotta set up a hotel at some point, man. For some
They
reason.
do, honestly. They got to set up like this 5-star resort. They're not getting on the boat, but 3 quarterbacks have walked the plank. Cam Ward, Geno Smith, and Spencer Radler. And I just want to reiterate, if they've walked the plank, that doesn't mean I'm necessarily giving up on them. It just means that for the rest of the season, I don't see them jumping any of the guys who are still on the ship. I still fully believe in Cam Ward, and I still like him a lot. Geno, I like. And then, no plank watch this week. Not a single quarterback will be on plank watch. All the other guys are gone. You know, they were on it last week, and they didn't really do anything to prove to me that they'll be off it. But yeah, moving in, we have our boiler room. Dylan Gabriel, Michael Penix, Jackson Dart, CJ Stroud, who will probably be in the resort next week, Aaron Rodgers, and Marcus Mariota, all chilling down there in the boiler room. You know, doing what they can to hopefully make their way up. You never know. Rodgers probably should be a little higher. Who knows? But anyway, next tier. The passengers. Dak has moved down. JJ, you are back in, my friend. JJ, welcome to the passengers realm. Trevor Lawrence, you're still there. You're on thin ice. Bryce Young, my guy. Passenger realm. Flacco, Brissett. These are good guys you want on your ship, man. You want them to just be taking a cruise, going along, doing what they can. Next one, our crewmates. Mac Jones, Lamar, Herbert, Williams, and Jones. This one's pretty sick. You know, they're just our crewmates here. Brayden knows where this is going.
I hate this. This is so bad.
Next up, first mates. Darnold, Love, you fell down, my guy. You fell from captains. Bo Nix, Baker Mayfield, and Jared Goff. All in our first mates section. They're good. They're in the top 10. But they're no captains. Which these are our week's captains right here. We got Mahomes, Stafford, May, Allen, and Hurts. Captains once again here at the top. I can explain.
Yeah, I need some explanation. The Lamar part especially.
So what about Lamar? You want him to be lower, higher?
So much higher, man. Like after his return last week, 4 touchdowns? Like that man's got to be a captain.
Yeah, I have an issue moving him to captain immediately after his first game back.
Okay.
He could jump to first mates next week probably if he has like an elite performance, no question, he's going up there. I'm keeping him at crewmates for now just because it's his first game back and it was against a Dolphins team whose quarterback isn't even on here.
You're also keeping Jordan Love way too high. Way too high. Jordan Love is on the same level as Dak Prescott, man. Like that's where we're at. That's where that needs to be happening.
Dude, I can't give up on my guy Love, man.
Call them crewmates. They're both crewmates together, man. I'll see that Dak is not a first mate. I'll see that maybe he's a crewmate. He can get to first mate, but put Jordan Love down there, man. He was never a captain in the first place. That he should be a crewmate right now.
Yeah, you know what? You might be right there. I mean, we'll see how he does this week. I feel like Mahomes being in captain is one that'll kind of make people go, what the heck? But it's really tough. I think Mahomes I grade on a different level than any other guy. I feel like I give the most leeway to him, Stafford, and Jalen just because they've done it already. So, like, if they have a bad week, I'm not going to instantly move him down the way that I would if, like, Allen, May, or even Allen, if he has a bad week next week, he'll stay there. He's not going to move down. I usually give these guys, like, I give Allen and Lamar 2 weeks. If they have 2 bad weeks in a row, I move them down. I give Hurts, Stafford, and Mahomes 3 because they won Super Bowls. And May, he'll go down if he has a bad week.
So, and then, hear me out.
Okay.
I think I'd rather have, based off of his most recent stats, I think, granted they couldn't win, but I think I'd rather have Jackson Dart over Bo Nix, man. Like, and that's what we're talking about. We're talking boiler room versus first mates.
What?
Yeah, we're talking boiler room versus first mates, man.
You would rather have Jackson Dart up at first mates and Bo Nix down in boiler room?
Bo Nix had 173 yards and 2 touchdowns. I'm saying they both deserve to be like passengers.
Dude,
like Bo Nix should be tanked down, man. Call him Mr. Broken Can't Walk Dell over in Houston because he should be tanked, bro.
Whoa!
It's crazy.
That's wild. He's like 6-2.
Yeah, record's one thing, but it's his team. It's not him.
His team sucks. Well,
if you're gonna do that, you should put Aaron Rodgers up at crewmates too. Like that's where we're at because his team's leading that division too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Bo Nix, yank him down. Yank Jordan Love down. Move. Who else? Move Lamar up. Move Dak up 1. Move. Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. Do you not like Tyler Shuck? Do you hate Tyler Shuck?
I forgot to put him. I didn't watch that game.
Honestly, you didn't miss anything.
I didn't watch that game.
You didn't miss anything.
Would he be a boiler room?
No, he'd be walking the plank. He'd be already on the plank.
He's already on plank watch?
He looked worse. Yeah, he'd be on plank watch.
Okay, so Tyler Shuck is on plank watch.
Yeah.
There we go.
Worse than Spencer Rattler.
Oh my gosh.
And then you know what? Throw Joe Flacco up on crewmates, man, because that guy's he's been balling.
That wasn't his. That game was crazy. That was not his fault.
Yeah,
He had 470 yards.
Talk about a coach that's lost a team, by the way. Oh my god.
Oh, talk about a team that's lost a team. The offense and defense hate each other.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like if the head coach is letting the offense talk like that, that's good.
Yeah. All right, well that's our fluctuating flotilla.
Oh, I'm gonna throw up.
Oh,
I'm sick again. Man.
Isn't it wonderful though? Like, don't we just love it?
I think I hate boats now. I think you've made me hate boats.
That's awesome, man.
Oh no.
Well, now we have an amazing segment right here, a brand new one that'll be weekly. We have Brayden's ranking tiers. Ranking tiers. I'm very excited.
All right, so we have these tiers here. If you want to see right here, so I have at the very very bottom the tier called Can the Season End Already? Can the season end already? You have the Dolphins, the Jets, the Titans, the Raiders, and the Saints. I think that one is pretty.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think that speaks for itself. Full disclosure, I made this tier list before the trade deadline today, so I don't know if many of these would change, but we'll see. So There's Hope is the next one. You move up a little bit. There's Hope for next year. And that's where I have the Giants, the Cardinals, and the Browns.
Okay.
I have Cardinals down there because we already talked about that, but they're just a little bit above the teams below them. Then you have the next tier, Pathetic, Pitiful. That's where I have the Texans, the Cowboys, and the Commanders. I have them kind of moved in there. Right above that, you have You Gave It a Nice Try. That's where you have the Cincinnati Bengals and the Atlanta Falcons. And then if you want to move up to this, where it's gonna get a little spicy. So now we go into playoffs. Like you move into that, which has the teams that are questioning playoff contention.
Okay.
They probably won't hit it. They might hit it. Who knows? Leaning on the, if you have to go glass half empty, glass half full, they're glass half empty here. But you have Steelers, Jaguars, Bears, Vikings, Panthers, and the 49ers. Then you have, right above it, you have playoffs, with a statement there, which are Ravens, Chargers, Packers, Seahawks, and the Rams. Right above that, you have going into Lock the Car. We're going for a drive. This season's going forward, man. You have the Patriots, the Colts, the Buccaneers, the Broncos, and the Chiefs.
Nice.
And at the very top, Trophy or bust. You have the Eagles, the Bills, and despite their loss this week, the Detroit Lions. Where are you fighting me on here? What are you thinking?
Well, I mean, this was made before the trade deadline. I think we can move the Jets up to there's hope for next year now. You know, they got 4 firsts. They're looking good.
I would say so, but I do think they want that season over already, man.
Yeah, they also want the season to end. What are the Browns in there's hope for next year?
That defense looks solid, dude. That defense looks like it can cook. And so I think, you know, if they can get, and you got Quinshawn that's been kicking tail, and so if you can just like get a quarterback there, I think that team could be a pleasant surprise. I really hope they don't get rid of Stefanski. I actually think he's a pretty head coach with what he's been given.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I think after seeing, they could have just been trounced on all year. They could have been the Dolphins, the Jets, the Titans, but they weren't. You know, they've been putting up some good fight in a lot of games. Of course, there's been some games they haven't been, but you know, they were able to make their own. That's where honestly, like, I almost put the Saints up there too, because like the Saints have been able to kind of give their own to some teams.
I'd honestly move the Commanders down to can the season end already.
Yeah,
I feel like they're not going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, they still have enough wins that I feel like they might like still, if Mariota can like figure it out a little bit, they can stay in contention, but they're not going to win anything.
Well, also, so I guess for trophy or bust, would you say the Eagles are obviously Super Bowl or bust? So are the Chiefs. So are all those guys. Would you say that it's a little more lenient on the Eagles and Chiefs for a Super Bowl or bust season, given that they've just won?
If you don't even make the Super Bowl this year, is this your lost year?
100% it's a loss.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
I mean, there's my answer. And note I did say it's a trophy or bust, right? So it's I'm saying like if you make Super Bowl, great. Like I think y'all aren't gonna.
Yeah.
You're not gonna sit there and go, wow, this year sucked. If you're playing in the Super Bowl, now if you lose in the NFC Championship,
yeah, that would suck. That would be terrible.
Like, so that's where I said I think even like again I put the Chiefs one below it, where it's like I think even now with the ups and downs the season has had. Yeah, it's going to suck if they don't make the Super Bowl, but I don't necessarily think that, you know, if they make the AFC Championship, they'll go, hey, we had our worst year, we still made the AFC Championship.
Yeah.
So that's where I have these 3 teams at the very top feel like at this point we are locked and loaded. They better make the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and it's crazy to me that a team, I don't know, it's been a while. I mean, it's always been a thing. The Eagles, since like making a Super Bowl, this seems like the first time they haven't had a Super Bowl hangover, which is unreal. I've never seen that. 2018 they did, 2023 they did, and now they don't. Like, it's like they didn't even win. They're just playing.
Well, I think it's a testament to the fact that they've been there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because even the Chiefs, while they had their ups and downs like last year, in the regular season, they still didn't lose games.
Yeah, and they never had like a hangover.
Yeah, they didn't have that massive hangover. So that's where I sit, and I'm like, I think once you've made it, right, if you make it back again, then you know how to handle it. You know how to handle
That's true.
that hangover versus, you know, that first year where they came back and it was sluggish, slow.
Yeah, it's like the Niners. Like, the Niners had a hangover. The Rams had a hangover. It seems like Eagles, Chiefs, 2 dynasties not having one.
It's going to be crazy when you say dynasty and they'll only have one. Well, I guess you won 2.
Well, no, we've had 2 in the last, 7 years or so?
Yeah, you'll have 2.
That's pretty good.
You'll have only 2.
Good.
You'll have only 2.
We're gonna get. I'd say Jalen will get 3 in his career.
That's 2 more.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
He'll do it.
That's bold.
I think he could do it.
That's bold. Who wins one first? Do you think Josh Allen wins one, or do you think Jalen gets his second?
I think that Jalen's gonna get his second this year, and then in a perfect world, we three-peat and he gets his third, and then Josh Allen gets one. But if I'm being realistic, I think Jalen gets one this year and Josh Allen gets one the next year.
It just feels like Josh Allen is like the Peyton Manning.
I want him. I love Josh Allen. I would love if he got one.
I mean, it just feels like he's the Peyton Manning to
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes' Tom Brady. Like it feels like he's just going to be the guy that can sneak in every so often. And then like Lamar's like the Ben Roethlisberger, where it's like, oh, and then like he'll also be there every so often.
Yeah.
Like
Jalen's like the Eli Manning, who like comes in.
Yeah, that's Jalen Hurts. He's the Eli.
I would be more than happy if he ends up being an Eli.
Oh, big news coming in right now.
What happened?
QB news in Arizona. Cardinals are sticking with Jacoby Brissett as their starter for Sunday's game in Seattle. So they're moving on from Kyler Murray.
So he's
Schefter
benched.
just reported that. Yeah. I mean, he's still technically hurt, but they made the announcement already today that Jacoby Brissett's going to be starting Sunday.
Wow.
Crazy.
Good. I got Marvin Harrison starting. Need targets.
There you go.
But yeah.
Amazing. So yeah, any other thing you want to flame me on for these tiers, or did I cook?
No, those are pretty good. I like them. I like them.
You didn't throw up. Oh,
I didn't throw up. I liked those tiers.
I'll try to make
not
you
as
throw
good
up
as the
next time.
quarterback ratings, but
Oh yeah, not nearly. You're so right.
not nearly as good.
Amazing.
But yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in to episode 2. You know, I'm excited for the next one. Eagles, Packers, Cowboys get a bye. You get to relax.
Oh man, I can't believe it's gonna be our 3rd bye week this year. We definitely didn't play the last 2 weeks. We've had 3 straight bye weeks. This is crazy.
I've never seen a team get 3 bye weeks. That's pretty cool.
Wild.
It's pretty awesome. Yeah, but thank you guys so much. You know, we got another show coming out next Wednesday. Next episode will be then. And until then, you know, enjoy the season. Brayden, you have any parting words?
Everybody, go have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
See you
Bye
next
bye.
week.
Yeah!